right, and we're live here at the Station of Decapitation. I'm Nasty Neal. Annabelle will be here momentarily, and I'm joined by James Dean of XXX-Mas, which we have down here in the corner.
How's it going, Neal?
Good. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah. It's an annual Christmas tradition.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it could be. Yeah, if we make a sequel, but who knows?
All right. So last year we had you on, you were talking about making XXX-Mas.
Yeah.
And now it's finished. So what's that? That's kind of a broad question, but what's that experience been like?
It's been a lot. I mean, it's been a lot. Just the running an Indiegogo, a crowdfunding campaign. It's that in and of itself is a lot. And we maybe had 6 weeks in between the completion of that and then heading into, at the same time I was doing pre-production, but I mean, you really don't have much time, especially if you're the sole person pushing the crowdfunding. So it was pre-production, we went into it. We shot March 23rd, I think, through like April 2nd, roughly, out here in St. Louis. And we had 1.5 other shoot days like over the summer, just kind of pickups, and we had one other scene, and then the rest has all just been post-production and me like working at it steadily and trying not to kill myself in the process. But it's been good. It's been good.
Yeah. And I assume when you were making it last year, the idea was you don't want to release XXX-Mas in July or something. It's good to have it out for the holidays.
That's really part of what the contributing factor to me pushing so hard this whole year has been, is that I wanted to get it out for this Christmas. So it just kind of made sense, but it also meant I had to push harder than I probably should have in some ways, We
get some people here in the chat saying hello. Jamie Hill from Skinamarink. Hello.
Hey.
Dean M. So anyway, you guys can send in questions during the show. It'll be fun. So have you made a feature before XXX-Mas?
Yeah. We made like the tribute to 70s exploitation films, Fontaine and the Vengeful Nun Who Wouldn't Die. That's streaming on Amazon and Tubi and Troma and a lot of places. And then we actually shot a second feature, which is halfway done with post-production. Well, halfway is probably overestimation, but like halfway into the rough cut. So this is the third one we've shot. It'll be the second one released, and then next fall, the second film we shot should be released. So busy, very, very, very busy.
Yeah. Well, why I asked, I was just wondering, like, did Fontaine? How different was it making XXX-Mas compared to your first feature?
I think every film that I've made is a very big learning experience. You learn what works, what doesn't work, and then as you try new things, you start eliminating the things you don't want to try again. So Fontaine, we shot over 9 months. That I'll never do that again. So that's a big difference. It was 29 shoot days. And, part of the reason it was 9 months instead of 6, even though 6 is pretty insane also, is that COVID hit and there was a 3-month break where we just weren't doing anything. No one was doing anything. So, XXX-Mas, we shot, the first 9 days of it. That's the bulk of the shooting days. It was back to back. And again, I wouldn't do that again either, though. I would do 5 days on, 2 days off, something like that. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't bad for the cast because we tried to schedule them in a way where they weren't going 9 days straight, but the crew, myself, it was pretty hard on us,
Yeah,
for sure.
And I guess I should mention this before we go too far. For people not aware yet, could give them an idea of what XXX-Mas is. I think James, for a minute, I thought he was so enthralled by my question. He's just looking, directly at me, but I believe he's frozen.
Am I back? Am I back? Okay. It's a sleazy Santa slasher. It's basically a mentally unwell Santa goes on a killing streak, and his target is an eccentric porn director's set, and all hell breaks loose, essentially. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up pretty nicely.
Yeah. And, getting the right Santa, did you have Drew in mind right away? Like, how did he come about to become Santa?
More often than not, when I'm writing, I have someone very specific in mind. And in this case, he was definitely the number. I had no other backups. I knew I was going to approach him. I knew he had the look I wanted and the charisma and just the acting chops. And also, it just turns out he's a fucking awesome person. You know, like he's super
That's always a
cool.
plus. Yeah.
Yeah, he's super super cool. So it was just a win all the way around. And you know, I mean, it turns out he has a pretty big following too, so that doesn't hurt either. But you know, like it was just he's super nice, and like from the very get go, when I was writing the first draft, I really wanted him. I knew I really wanted him, and I'm so glad that it came out that way. And I think not only did he like deliver on what I wanted, but he was able to make it even better. You know, and I mean that's so fun. I mean, like from a director's perspective, that's always awesome.
Mhm. Yeah, I see him pop up in so much stuff lately. A lot of times it'll just be a small role because it's just like you'll find he'll play like a murder size. He's got a fairly small role, but it's cool to see him, you know, as like the main villain in a film.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him in a couple. What was he in? He was in Tapehead. Is that? I don't know if you've seen that. He had a real small cameo in that, and I think he was in The Barn too. He's been in a lot
Yeah,
of stuff.
another
You know.
small. I was in the barn too as well.
Were you? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. He I know he also. I mean, a bigger role that he did this year was
Oh no,
Murder
I'm sorry. I was
Size.
in Cryptids. I was in Cryptids.
Cryptids.
But it's
Okay,
made by
okay.
the same, a lot of the same folks. Yeah.
He was in Murder Size, you know, which is I
Yeah.
don't know if you've seen that, but that's a lot
Yeah.
of fun. Yeah.
Mhm.
It has probably one of my favorite cuts in a film. That's just it's so natural when he comes in and he's dressed in his leotard, essentially.
Yes, it's a great cut. It's a great edit from he
Yes.
walks through the people haven't seen it. He walks through the door and he's in the leotard and it's
Yeah. But he's in his work clothes to begin with. So yeah,
right.
it was a lot of fun for sure. But yeah, no, he's been in so much, I feel like, and he's definitely I feel like people are really starting to figure out who he is and like what he can do. And yeah, he's so funny, you know? Like
Yeah.
yeah.
So had you worked with him before or you just knew him from other things or
I had not worked with him before. I think I had seen him in I can't remember the name of the movie, but the directors of Murder Size, Paul and Angie Ragsdale, they had a film. It was a slasher film. I don't remember what it was called offhand, but I saw him in that, and then I saw Pool Party Massacre, which I was late to that, definitely. And you know, I just was like, oh well, I have to work with this guy.
yeah. The Ragsdales are great, who made Murder Size. They've been on the show. And I saw they're very supportive of your film. They're always sharing it, which I like to see. Unfortunately, James is frozen again. Here we go. Oh, I think he's back.
Yes, my internet hates us tonight for some reason.
Yeah. But I was saying the Ragsdale's great. They're also great people.
Yeah.
And very supportive of other filmmakers. And I saw they've been very supportive of your film.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're awesome. Their film, their trailer for Murder Size is running before our film, and I made sure they were one of the first people I reached out to because they've been so awesome in that regard. You know, I like supporting other filmmakers. You know, like when I can, or if I know something is out and available. You know, like what does it hurt for me to run trailers of other filmmakers before my movie? It doesn't hurt at all. You know, like
right, yeah.
It just makes sense. I may introduce a handful of people to other director or other filmmakers, you know?
Yeah. And that's, we were talking about festivals beforehand. And that's one of the big things I like about festivals is everyone's supportive of each other and you get to meet people and you maybe not work together in the future, but you might. And at the very least, so you try to help each other out.
Yeah. We went to Days of the Dead, which isn't a film festival, but they definitely had I guess they had kind of a miniature little film thing going on there, and I met a handful of filmmakers, and it was so cool. I pulled myself away from the table to try to like go and check out some of their stuff, and it was a lot of fun stuff and a lot of just unique stuff. And meeting them in person and talking to them about their projects was so much fun. And they came to our table and they were buying Blu-rays, you know, so it's like it was really fun for sure. Yeah.
Speaking of Blu-rays, it's something I've been talking about with people I've been making our movies with. So some people think, physical media is dead, but I do think that especially people who like these kind of movies are into physical media. They like the Blu-rays. They like, even like a special edition VHS copy.
Yeah, I 100% agree. We had very limited copies. We took to Days of the Dead and we sold out. And I sold probably 7 VHSs actually. So hey, what's up, Anthony? We sold some. We definitely sold some VHSs even. So you know,
Are you going to do a do you have a VHS of Xmas, Triple Xmas?
Yeah, that's what we sold. We sold a handful of those, and there's none like I don't have it listed on the site just yet for pre-order. It might be something that I postpone a little bit. I have people that support it on the Indiegogo, and so my goal is to ship everything out to them before I ship anything to anyone else. And there was a handful of VHSs that people picked up through the Indiegogo, so those will be the first ones I make sure to
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan myself. I have one here, not of Triple Xmas, but I would like to have one. Is Hectic Knife by Greg DeLisio, who made Psycho Ape, which I was very happy to see Psycho Ape make a cameo in Triple Xmas.
Yeah. You know, oh man, I tried to get more. I tried to get more cameos. I tried to get more VHS copies, but just the time and then communication, and then I like send out messages, and then I forgot. Yeah, I was super excited to put that. See, I get pumped to do that kind of stuff. Pool Party Massacre was in there, and I actually slipped. Hopefully it doesn't cause any issues, but I actually slipped WNUF also in there. I mean, Santa likes to watch his film. I mean, what are you gonna,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Felissa Rose also in Triple Xmas.
Yeah,
always fun to see her. How does she get involved?
She's amazing. I had a couple people telling me that I should reach out to her, and I knew I wanted someone like her to play the part of Lana Luscious. And okay, so with something like this, you never know how people are going to react. I had never met Felissa in person. I mean, anyone who has met her in person knows that she's the biggest sweetheart in the world, right? I mean, there's and but when I sent her the script, I was like, okay, here we go. We'll see what she thinks of this. And of course, she was so receptive and awesome and just amazing. And she was excited she finds joy in everything. And she was so excited that her character didn't just have a one-on-one with another character, that she had interactions with a lot of characters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much it. From there, we just kind of started scheduling things.
Yeah, I was just saying that's a good point though, because sometimes you see like a name, people are familiar with from conventions, in a classic horror movie, and they pop up, and it's just really a cameo in one scene to say so and so's in our movie, but she's actually in the movie.
Yeah, for sure. No, definitely. I mean, she's not, I wouldn't say she's a lead character, but she's definitely in the film more than just a minute or two. And she doesn't just share a scene with one or two actors either. And I get, like, it's tough. Indie film is hard. You get an actor in for a day or two and you want to make the best of the time. And it's hard, I mean, but yeah, we made it work.
Yeah. By the way, how can people get Triple Xmas? No, we mentioned that.
So okay, we actually have premieres coming up in St. Louis, Philadelphia, and also in New Orleans. And so you can go to monsterkidfilms.com, XXX-Mas. So it's monsterkidfilms.com. Is it / one of the two?
I'll put the link right here, and people.
That'll be better. Yeah. And that has all the listings of everything. You can also pre-order the Blu-ray that way. It's also going to be, I don't even know if I've been so busy. I don't think I officially announced it on Facebook. I know I've announced it over on Twitter, but it's also going to be streaming December 8th on newvillagevideo.com.
Oh, I was going to bring up friends with New Village Video because you mentioned Murder Size, and they had the exclusive for a while. Yeah, great. Tara's a friend of mine. She's on the show regularly.
Okay. Yeah.
New Village Video is great.
Yeah, I've been dealing with Larry. He's one of the co-owners, and he seems amazing. And he seems
Tara.
He seems really like a fan of the genre. You can kind of tell, when you talk to someone. And so he's super excited, and they don't worry about editing anything. So that'll be probably the main way for digital streaming this year. We'll see. We have submitted to other places, but I don't know if it's really going to be in time for Christmas. So, and I'm not. Again, I'm not overly concerned. We'll have the physical media. We'll have New Village Video, which it seems like they have a lot of like grimy, sleazy stuff on there. So I kind of like that.
Yeah, this is very strange because I was going to suggest them to you off air. And I would also texted Tara from New Village Video, and she just got back to me that they're excited to release that on New Village. I was like, oh, okay. So,
yeah.
So I knew though. perfect fit for New Village Video. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a good fit for sure. Yeah, and I mean, I think eventually it will pop up on Amazon and Tubi. We'll see if it happens this year, or not. And
Yeah.
yeah, we'll go from there. Okay. I think XXX-Mas. I think there's going to be a couple groups of people with XXX-Mas. I think there's going to be some people who may have been wanting something like Black Friday, and they might be disappointed. And if you just want to have fun with a film and enjoy the tits and ass and the gore and the kills and the dad joke humor that Santa comes in with, I think you're going to have a really good time. I think it's a fun movie in that regard. And I think a lot of the performances are so strong. It's not played for laughs, but a lot of the scenario.
Oh, caught up. I was grabbing the Dean's all excited. You got Dean with tits and ass. He's excited to hear this. I'll take this moment to also welcome people who are listening on Twitch. This is our first show we're doing on Twitch as well. Hello, James is back.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
you were here for a long time that time.
I know. And the funny thing is we just upgraded and swapped to a different internet company.
Right.
And this one's supposed to be way better. So we see where we're at.
Right. Well, maybe it would have been way worse otherwise.
Yeah, it probably would have been. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
So yeah, I found the link here, and also, so you have Dean and Pepe here. They're excited about the TNA.
Tits and ass, you say? Yeah. I mean, so we have film actors that are scream queens that definitely bear quite a bit, and we have Dolly Lee, who is a former adult actress. I mean, just if you Google her, you'll. Don't do it in public necessarily, but she was a former adult actress, and so she was completely comfortable being naked on screen. And you saw the film, Neal. I mean, like, there's some nudity, right?
Yeah, there's nudity, but it's not like like you said, you can't watch it at work necessarily, but it's not like you're watching a pornographic film. So it's a fun movie. It's not like you're not going to see like full penetration or anything like that. Is what I was trying to say. But I believe Annabelle is here, and I do think it would be. You mentioned premieres at different places. I think it would be a movie that would be fun to watch with an audience.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be. How's it going, Annabelle? Sorry, I had a technical issue. I wasn't hearing anything for like 60 seconds.
Oh, that's okay. No problem. Yeah, I just made it. I'm so sorry out of work late, but I'm here and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might have missed you here. Oh, I see. James was not. So sorry for any technical problems. And thanks for the folks over on Twitch. We're streaming on several sites tonight. So we had Dean and Pepe were excited about the TNA, and then we have Facebook user who's excited about the blood and gore. I should grab their name.
I think it's a good mix, and I think that once the blood and gore starts, that's when the TNA kind of ends for the most part. I mean, I guess not entirely. There's definitely a few scenes, but yeah, I think you were kind of saying when I wasn't able to hear, talking about watching it with an audience. I think this is definitely the kind of film where if you get a group of friends together and you turn it on late night, maybe do whatever you do, if you drink or if you smoke or whatever you do, I don't think it could hurt the experience.
Yeah, and I think it's if you watch with an audience, people are they're going to laugh together at certain things, like you said, the dad jokes and the gore and all that stuff. And
I think that my sense of humor is very much like dad jokes, but I don't have the charisma if I was just telling. Gotta love the nudity. But I don't have the charisma to like pull it off. And so like when you take someone like Drew Marvick and you put him in there and he just effortlessly just like it just comes out and it's just like so smooth, it's like, oh yeah, Santa's fucking dad jokes or his little one-liners. Yeah.
And Pepe's glad to see that Annabelle's alive and kicking.
Yeah. I'm getting there. And sickly, James.
So you mentioned Days of the. Have you watched with an audience yet? Have there been any screenings?
I haven't. No. I mean, we've done a few. I did a couple like test screening. Well, I wouldn't call them test screenings. A couple producers were around. There's one scene in particular, and like all these people knew because they were there on set. But when we were watching it, they jumped still. So I thought that was a good sign. I'm sure, you probably know what scene that is. It's a homage to another movie, but yeah, no, it's yeah. I think that I feel good about it. Like once I've watched this film 100 times now, so I'm not eager to watch it again, but I am eager to watch it with an audience to see how it's received. The actor that plays Jackie, the really buff guy that is constantly with the cookies, he's bringing his grandma to the screening.
Oh, really? I love it. Yeah.
I was like, wait,
minded grandmother.
Yeah, I was like, wait, are you serious? He's like, yeah, no, I'm bringing my grandma. She's awesome. I was like, yeah, I guess she is.
Well, Neal, your mom is old enough to be a grandma, and
yeah, no, yeah,
you'd be all for it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I grew up watching horror movies with my mom, so
she's fantastic.
It's honestly kind of the same. It can be weird, of course, but I mean, I watched a lot of exploitation, Roger Corman and just all kinds of stuff, My mom was sitting there. She might be at the counter or whatever or cooking, but she'd be watching along with me, and yeah.
Have your parents seen it?
No, both of my parents are gone. So
I'm sorry.
I think no, it's okay. I think my mom would have smiled and rolled her eyes at me. I really and you know how moms are, that should have been very supportive, but so I'm excited because my girlfriend's going, and then and she has a 19-year-old, and her 19-year-old's coming with her boyfriend, and I said I had to talk to him. I was like, I just want to make sure everyone's on the same page here. There's quite a bit of nudity. There's several scenes with sex, and I said, as long as you guys are all comfortable with that, I'm fine with you coming. I want you guys to come and support us and enjoy the film. But I don't want you to be sitting next to your mom and start to feel just a little too uncomfortable. So I gave him the heads up.
It's really kind of you. I think probably almost everyone has been a younger person with an adult and been very freaked out by the dynamic that's going on when you don't expect it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could definitely see that for sure. I remember that feeling for sure. So yeah, I mean.
Yeah, a horror movie, to me, the gore and stuff, why ever, that's fine to watch with like your parents, but when you're watching a sex scene with your
most people don't commit murder. Like I don't have to be like if it was my mother, I mean, oh man,
I'm glad you said most.
I don't want to think about this because I know my mom murders people.
I think that's a good point. Honestly, I think that. I think that sex it happens very regularly, and nudity is all the time, and so and you don't see people going around killing. You don't see Santa for one, but you don't see him going around killing people either. So yeah, it's I think it is different, and it could also just be like a cultural thing. Also, I know Americans tend to be a little more worked up over it as opposed to you go to European countries where it's just a little bit less.
Yeah,
of a big deal.
for the most part, you're not going to get over an R rating for any type of gore in your movie. But if you have even a glimpse of nudity, it's an R, or more, it'll go past that to an X.
Yeah,
which you'd have to have an insane amount of gore for someone to think of that.
I think you're right. Or maybe if it was extremely like I don't know what Martyrs was rated, but like the brutality and the way it's directed towards one person, and there was a female, like all those things might push towards something that's a little harder. I feel like wasn't Clerks originally rated R or X for language? I feel like it might have been. I might be wrong, but
yeah. If it was, probably a lot of it is because it was a smaller unknown movie. I know, like the guys who made South Park always talk about when they put out. Once they got known, there was a lot easier for them to put out stuff and people not worry about the ratings for it. They'd be much more lenient because they were established, which is not right at all. But that's the way it goes.
It is funny how that works. So we're doing our first premiere this Saturday, just a couple days from now, 2 days from now, and it's at a historic theater here. And when I was talking to them, I'm talking to a couple different people about renting the theater and whatever, and the logistics of it. And, I told them the title, and they're like, oh, we're going to have a meeting about this. I was like, okay, well, that sounds like a really good way to promote it for one. So thank you for that. And I'll I did make use of that. But, I said counterpoint. There was just a film that came out called X, Boogie Nights. I said there's a lot of films that have come out that are just bigger budget, and you can screen it ahead of time. I have no problem with it. And full disclosure, we shot with a 6K sensor, and I did have to crop in a couple, to hide a couple buttholes. I'm just being honest. As much as I pushed for people to wear the proper concealing C-strings, some were just fine going without. So, just meant I had to crop in a bit.
Right. Is that something you'd ever thought of before? Like one day I'll be cropping out buttholes.
I'll tell you what. That's no, I have not. But I was contacting one of the actors. There's a scene where the phone goes off. It rings, and buttholes. There's a scene where the phone goes off, and because you've made films, like VFX takes place all the time in films, even if you don't realize it. And so I had to do a screen replacement, and in the foreground is a couple having sex, and her butt is just like going up against the and like I had to mask around her ass cheeks moving back and forth, and it took me like 3 or 4 attempts to really get it to work, because I don't do visual effects. Yeah. And I messaged her because we're friends, and I was like, listen, I'm so tired of seeing your ass right now. It's this, there's nothing really that sexy about nudity or sex scenes in films, in my experience. There's nothing, and sometimes it can be fun, but I'm much more into like the gore and the crazy kills, honestly. So that's when I get super excited, or like kind of like a child,
So what was the decision then to make XXX-Mas?
So it was weird. So we'd shot Fontaine, then we shot another film, and before Absolution, I was trying to figure out something I could write that we could shoot in just one location, and I wanted to make it a slasher, because I felt like I could probably find a killer of some sort, and then ladies who would be willing to run around half naked, and just set it in a house and do a slasher film and keep it very... My inspiration was actually Slumber Party Massacre 2, which I think is just ridiculous, but I absolutely love it. It's so ridiculous, right? And so I wanted to do something kind of like that, but I couldn't like creatively put myself in that headspace to write anything. I kept coming back to it, and I nothing ever came up, nothing. So then you fast forward where we shot Absolution, which is a completely different kind of story, completely different kind of film altogether. And after that, I was, halfway into this editing it, and it's a very heavy film, and I wanted something fun, and I was talking to someone about different kinds of kills, and someone said something about a Santa movie or something, and like my brain just like lit on fire. Like in a matter of a week, I think I wrote the first draft in 60 pages, Wow. And I'm getting better at that. I feel like a lot of writers, we get really overwhelmed with like, it has to be amazing on the first draft. It doesn't. It doesn't. It can be the worst thing in the world. It doesn't matter. Just don't shoot it. For God's sake, just don't shoot it. The first draft, even the 10th draft, like how many drafts do you have of a script? A lot, usually, So, so really it was just through a combination of talking about really cool, gnarly kills. And I think it was like around October-ish of last year when I started writing it. And it was before the two Christmas horror films came out last year. The guy that made VFW and Bliss, I can never remember. Joe Bagos, he made one.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of his films. Yeah.
Yeah. So am I. I think Bliss is his masterpiece. But
I agree 100%. I'd seen it just for the first time recently.
Yeah.
When I had the actress on, so I watched it and I was like, "Oh wow, this is great." It was after I saw Bloody Christmas. I went and watched his other movies, and I think Bliss is his best movie.
Yeah. I love it for so many reasons. But that came out, and then is it Violent Night, the one with David Harbour, right? And so
Bloody Christmas. Oh,
Yeah.
you mean the oh, I know what you mean. Yeah,
both of them came out last
Yeah,
year.
yeah,
Yeah. But right before I even realized those were even coming out is when I wrote the first draft, and then I was like, oh wow, maybe I'm going to be late. Maybe it'll just be on time. It feels like there's a lot of Christmas horror now coming out this year.
Yeah.
So
I
maybe
think
it's
every
coming.
year. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's coming out on time. Maybe. Yeah. I think if it came out next year, it'd be a little behind the curve for sure. But I mean, I don't know. Terrifier 3, man. It looks like that. Looks like that's coming out, and that's going to be Christmas themed. So.
Yeah. They say that's going to be coming out in 2024, and it's. They said it, and I'm actually wearing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they said it's going to be Christmas one, which I'm Annabelle both agree with. There's something about Christmas horror, even like the really rotten ones, I think are fun.
Yeah. I think and so just from like a non-artistic, but just from like a marketing standpoint, the chances of your film being rediscovered, it's every year. Every year you get to roll the dice on that.
Yeah.
The downside is you're going to have 10.5 months each year where your film does nothing, probably. Maybe I can try to push it in July, Christmas in July. But I mean, that's about it. There's not a lot you're going to get out of. It's not a 12 months out of the year kind of deal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I do think, like you said, there's like a discovery of holiday horror, and it's fun.
Thanksgiving we have a new one now. So.
That's what I was just about to say that they just announced a sequel. Yeah, so
and Annabelle both and I really loved it. Sorry, Annabelle. Yeah,
it was amazing. But
no spoilers. It's on my list to watch. I just haven't got around to it. Yeah,
really fun. If you to me, it's both of us. We kind of said the same thing. It's like just a great slasher movie.
Yeah.
And it's not like a copy of another slasher movie. It's just like a great modern, or just a great slasher movie all around.
Yeah. I'm excited to see it. I was a little disappointed that it wasn't going to run with what the original trailer
like a grindhouse 70s. Yeah.
But I'm not surprised, because to get funding you have to make some. I mean, someone paid for that, and they're like, "There's no way that's gonna," like they probably looked at Grindhouse.
Grindhouse didn't do well, the movie, and that had giant names behind it.
Yeah. So I think
I don't think you'll be disappointed. It's different, but I don't think you'll be disappointed. It's fantastic. It's funny. It's constantly busy with action and activity, and the characters are not like a lot of slasher movies. You don't necessarily really like the group that's trying to survive, but they're fine. You feel for them. They're cool.
Yeah,
the villain's amazing. There's mystery to it. It's really, they did a great job.
It kind of feels, I mean, all I've seen is the trailer, but it kind of feels like, and I think I've seen a couple people mention this, more like a 90s horror film. And that's I have nothing against, was it like I Know What You Did Last Summer, like some of like the people that weren't necessarily always wearing masks, but they had like a cape or something, it definitely felt that way. And it kind of looked aesthetically from the trailers that way. I have a big issue with horror films today looking too nice, and I get it. I mean, like, I wouldn't necessarily put that in that category, but I feel like there's a lot of films that it just seems like they put so much money into the color grade and all these things. And I get it. You have the money, you're gonna want to make it look nice, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me loving the 80s stuff too much.
I mean, I love the 80s stuff too, but this is not just like visually excellent. It's good. Like if this had, and I think that probably, I'd say definitely, if the quality wasn't as good and this was more like strictly practical effects with a lower budget, I still think it would be good.
Yeah,
it's a clever movie. It's just a good movie. Yeah. But I know what you're saying. I do like, there's something about a gritty movie like Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something. And when you brighten that up, it doesn't work as well. James froze up, but he is back.
I am back.
Yeah. I also did want to mention that I was a big fan that we saw Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I love the Mexican, I think it's called Santa versus the Devil. It's something Santa and the Devil. It's Mexican. It's black and white. It sounds
delightful. It sounds delightful.
You can find it. It is not hard to find. I'm gonna have to find the title. It is, and it is sweet. It's got like a sweet story too, and the devil is so goofy, and it's just wonderful.
Yeah, I have a pretty big blind spot for a lot of films before the 70s. I've started to work my way through the 70s. It was that I was just stuck in the 80s for way too long, and I've worked my way through the 70s a bit. I need to keep pushing. I actually just watched a lot of the Universal classic monster movies,
Oh,
like
really?
the last like 6-7 years, 5-6 years. Yeah, and it's crazy because they're so short and quick. And honestly, both Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein. Bride of Frankenstein is one of my favorite horror films of all time. It's just so, yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I grew up with the Universal monsters. They're definitely up with my favorite. It's hard to beat the first two Frankensteins. That's interesting to watch them later on in life without watching them before and still digging them. I appreciate that. Not that, I mean, they were old when I grew up too. It's not, I guess it's not like I was watching them in the 30s or something. So.
I don't know if I would have appreciated them. Right. I don't know that I would have appreciated them when I was younger. I had a hard time watching black and white films for a long time. And that's just me being an idiot, you know, like, but you know,
get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Tara's in here in the chat. Puppy salute. Hi all. And so excited for XXX-Mas release a new Village video.
I did not realize that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's very funny. But I actually was going to bring it up because I thought it was a good fit. And I texted Tara. And then James tells me that it's coming to new Village video. Then Tara replies to me on the text during the show that I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, December 8th. Yeah. I think it'll be a good fit for sure. I think that anyone that goes to that site and is interested I think it fits very nice at home there.
Yeah, and Tara, if you missed it, James was saying that you've got a lot of sleazy stuff on there. He meant it as a compliment. So.
Oh, for sure. Oh no, that's never not a compliment. Are you kidding me? Do you know what I did on Thanksgiving? Let me just diverge for a second here. I was not feeling very good. I sat at home. I was sick. And so I sat at home and I watched Vice Squad for the first time. 1982.
I'm a huge fan. We were going to have the director on, but he got sick, so it didn't work out.
No.
I love this movie, yes.
So what do you think? What do you think? I don't remember if it was Freebie or Tubi, but what do you think the next one was? Strip to Kill was the next recommended movie. I'm sick. It's Thanksgiving. Let's do it. Yeah. And then after that, they done Street Walking with Melissa Leo. And I'm like, you get to a point, it's like, okay, I mean, like, I do like exploitation films, but like, these are starting to kind of feel the same.
Yeah.
Need them in small doses.
Yeah. But I watched it again recently for that interview, and I was really liked the movie as a kid. But for me, people always talk about like 80s like nostalgia, but to me that's more 80s nostalgia. It's like a very gritty, dirty movie. I don't think 80s is just all bright colors and then things like that.
Oh, definitely not. Yeah, no. It's weird because like I'm assuming we're about the same age, and like we grew up probably, you know, a lot of like USA Up All Night, and like we did have cable for a while, so like Cinemax late at night. You know, I mean, any any teenage boy was staying up a little bit later just to watch some of those films.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't know what the hell my mom was doing. She wasn't watching me at 10, 11, 12, and I was watching some wild shit. Like I was going back and looking at what was playing, and I remember seeing a movie called Whore, right? That's the name of the movie.
Yeah.
And like I was like, well, I watched it like 6 months after it came out on like cable. And I was like, holy shit, I was 12 when that came out. What the hell was I doing watching that film?
All right. Yeah. Vice Squad's actually a big favorite of my mom, so I watched it when I was very young too.
It's not an easy watch necessarily. It's pretty. Yeah, and I you know, I'm so ignorant. I thought a pimp stick was like a cane, like a walking stick.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that because I looked it up after watching it again because I look at it different eyes now as an adult. And that's an actual term. It is.
Yeah.
And what's in the movie is an actual thing that's used, and it's not pleasant.
Yeah. It's really crazy to think about like the ways humans come up with new ways to hurt each other. It's just, yeah. just blows me away. I mean, I love doing it for films, but that's make believe. We're it's a little different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
very different.
and the violence in Vice Squad's not played for laughs or anything. Like you said,
No.
it's a hard watch.
Yeah.
And that's a rare villain where he's really good as the villain role, but like you really don't want to see him succeed because he's a really nasty person.
I would put him up there with DiCaprio and Django. I
Yeah.
think they both are just like people that if you saw them, I'm like the most non-violent person ever, but I would want to punch this person in the face.
Yeah, that's a really rotten person.
Yeah.
But just a great performance too. Puppy Salute. She's mentioned she had an early viewing of the movie. But someone had a question here. I think, yeah, 4 Sides of Cross Productions. Did you scout locations or just use locations that were easily available?
No, we definitely. So there's a couple locations that we shot that were the house that we live in, but for the majority, the big house that 80% of the film takes place in, we scouted, and we actually had a different house at one point, but we didn't get our funding in time, so we weren't able to reserve it. So like the time frame that we had already reserved all the actors, it just didn't work. So we spent a lot of time scouting locations. And the location we ended up settling on actually resulted in me having to go back through the script and rewriting parts of it because everyone is running different directions through different parts of the house. And there's a throwaway line that probably most people are never going to even care about, but where Felicia's talking about how many basements the house has. That's not, the house really had 2 basements. It had one basement and then it had another one underneath it.
Really?
Whoa!
Yes.
I mean, that's kind of cool, honestly.
Yeah.
That's
Makes
why
me wonder why that was built.
Yeah. I do wonder. It's very
It's really, when they build things here, like on these weird hills, you'll come in and you'll essentially you'll be on the top floor and then they'll just build a couple basements. It's really weird. I've only seen a couple houses like that, but yeah, I mean, there's a St. Louis has this weird like wine country, if you want to call it that, vineyards, and it's really big with like weddings, and they have these really big houses that are like newer, and that's where we ended up shooting. It's about 35 minutes outside of St. Louis, and yeah, I mean, I found it, and I reached out. I said, we're going to shoot a movie here. I want to make sure that's okay. If you need an extra deposit or whatever, I need you to sign this stuff, and he was fine with it. Fun fact, kind of a funny story. The next door neighbor used to own the house, and he kept coming over talking about how he wanted to see it once it came out, and it was his mom's house. So,
are you sure?
right.
Dean says he loves James. You're cool. He's cool.
Okay.
A lot of people love 80s horror. Yeah. So when did you first get into horror? Well, what were like the movies that made you get into horror films?
So I was raised Catholic. I'm not religious now at all, but my mom and my sister watched The Exorcist, and my sister was 17 years older than me. So I was like 5 and it was playing, and like I didn't understand the film at all, but I remember, and this is definitely what got me into horror. I remember my mom and my sister and everybody else in the household like all cramming into one bed that night to sleep because they were all terrified, right? Because they very much believed in God and Catholic and all this stuff. Exorcist, I mean, it's a pretty effective movie.
Yeah.
And like the film didn't scare me, but their reactions as a child, you're watching people's reactions to something. It's like, oh, something's really wrong here. And that was the first thing that really got my interest. Like, I don't know what's wrong, but something's really wrong. And then from there, it just kind of, I started discovering little things, anytime there was like a horror tie-in with a cartoon I was watching, I would instantly kind of go towards it, and then again, I had cable at night, and I think a lot of trauma films, a lot of like Toxic Avenger, a lot of stuff like that was some of my earlier, now it was edited because it was probably on USA Up All Night. And then I would watch, Joe Bob. I don't know if it was Monster Vision or he had 2 different shows, but yeah. I think a lot of that was really kind of what started to turn me on to horror, because you had a horror host that was excited about it, and I think whenever you see anyone passionate about anything, it's hard to not also lean in a little bit and have some interest,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Joe Bob came from an actual background where he reviewed movies as an actual movie critic. So it's even though I like a lot of the horror hosts who are just kind of fun and silly. That's really fun. But he actually, you could tell like he had knowledge about movies themselves, and so to me it was almost like if Siskel and Ebert really liked horror movies, but it had a little bit more fun to him, as opposed to someone who's clearly playing a character and just being kind of a goofy host.
Yeah, and I think he does both, right? I think he kind of
he's got the character and stuff, but he also you could tell he's got knowledge of movies and genuinely likes the movies he's talking about. It's not like a script that's written out, and but you could tell like these are things he's thought about the movie.
Yeah. When I said both, I didn't mean that he was pretending to like or dislike films for sure.
Right,
I think he's very genuine, but I do think he does have a character of sorts. But
Sure.
I think you're right. I remember, I don't know if it was on the show or if I read something, but he was one of the only critics that would go to like some of these B movies, some of these like second run.
That's how really he got his start before he became Joe Bob, was,
Yeah.
Championing these movies. Like Basket Case is actually one of his first ones he really got behind. And I believe the newspaper didn't want him like reviewing these kind of movies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do newspapers know? See where they're at right now, right?
Yeah. But he's a big reason why Basket Case got out as like the unedited one, because there's the original like cut of it's like really chopped to pieces.
Yeah, I just rewatched that about a year ago, and like talk about a time capsule, man. It's so beautiful.
I absolutely love it.
It's one of my favorites.
And that's a movie you're kind of talking about where it's got a gritty feel to it. It's not like and I think if you clean that up too much, it wouldn't work for the movie it is. And to me, there's always something about those gritty New York films that have a special feel to them.
Yeah, I think you're right. And it kind of goes back to Vice Squad too. It has the same feel, for sure.
Which isn't, it's LA, not New York, but it has that gritty street feel to it.
Right. Yeah.
So what is it you like about Basket Case, James?
Me, I think that there's a couple things. The grittiness, definitely. The aesthetic. It was shot on film, of course. It's 80s. But I like that they weren't like, like not all the effects. Obviously, they don't all work. But I don't think you have to sit there and worry about all that. I think you just keep going, And there's something that's very admirable to me when a filmmaker, especially 40 years ago, when it wasn't as easy to make something like that, just to push on and just to keep going with the story, the movie, and it's so fucking over the top. Come on. Annabelle, you saw XXX-Mas, right?
I didn't get to because of
oh my god!
I know I don't want to be dishonest and be like, yes.
No. I appreciate it. Neil can attest. I like over the top. I mean, right? He can tell you I like over the top sometimes. I think people and filmmakers, I think filmmakers especially, but I think people take themselves way too serious, and I don't think Basket Case takes itself way too serious. And I think there's a lot to like about that. And that's
talking about where effects don't always work. For me, even if it's a practical like effect, where even the ones that maybe don't work, whatever, there's a charm to it. Where, in my opinion, stuff that's like CG or whatever, if it doesn't work, it's just bad, as opposed to having like a funness to it.
Full disclosure for anyone listening, we had and it's noticeable. I mean, there's no way around it, but we had a kill in the film where we tried practical effects 3 times on 3 separate shoots, and I spent way too much money trying to get this fucking kill to work, and I called in different people to do different things, and at the end of the day, I just had to hire my buddy who does visual effects, and he does do a really good job, but there is one kill that we had to go with visual effects, and all the others are all the others, every single fucking one of the rest of them are practical, and I'm a big proponent of practical, but sometimes you just have to do what you have to do.
I think everybody that really like their horror home is 80s movies is like dedicated to practical effects.
Yeah.
Because they're so amazing in that era.
Yeah. I think that's a big reason why they've come back recently, is because people of that era now are making their own movies.
The people that are in our age range who have we now have the money, we're like the adults with the money. So yeah, people are appealing to
Right. I do think, especially when you're like in the middle of shooting, it can complicate things. I mean, I guess visual effects could as well, but or they do sometimes, but with practical, I feel like something that could take, or is supposed to take 15 minutes could end up taking 3 or 4 hours, And if you're on an indie film and you have actors that are there for 4 days, and what was scheduled for 15 minutes took 4 hours, that's pretty big.
Yeah, we have our music of the month people, Atomic Psychos, came on. They were talking about their process of making music videos, and that was a big thing, was that sometimes you just have to do the things that save money and time, because not everybody has that like multi-million-dollar luxury and big giant studios to back them.
Right. I had someone ask me it was the first podcast I did this week. I've done quite a few so far, but it was the first podcast I was on, and he asked me if I had $100,000 to put more into XXX-Mas, what would I do with it? And I told him I would spend 15 grand to try to get 3 more days with everybody, and the other 85 I would go make another movie, because I don't need 100 grand to finish. I don't need 100. Not in any circumstances would I want 100 grand more to make this movie. I would go make another movie.
It's an interesting question after what you just talked about with that effect there. 4 sides of cross productions. Was there any shot in the film that you really wanted but had to rethink because it wasn't working out?
I always have a plan A and I always have a plan B, and there are multiple shots, multiple parts in the film that were written slightly different. One would have involved a car hitting someone, and I am very, very big on safety, and that goes as far as like both like fighting and any kind of stunt pools and any kind of nudity involved on set. Those are all safety issues for me, and I want to make sure that they're being handled the right way and everyone feels safe. We didn't have time to do it the right way. We could have rushed it. We had to rework the scene. We just had to. That's not a shot, that's a scene. But there's always shots that I storyboard that when we're on the set, if there were 4 shots and I know my DP can do it in 1 shot and we're 2 hours behind, we do it. We do the 1 shot. We try to match and get it as much aesthetically as we had planned originally, but that's indie film. If you're too precious about things and you're an indie filmmaker, you're never going to make your film ever. It's just, yeah.
So I do want everyone to check out New Village Video. You said December 8th it'll be up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that'd be very cool. And they're very inexpensive. I think it's like $3 to rent a movie.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be $3.99 to rent. Yeah.
Okay. So $4, but we're rough around there.
Yeah.
And they're really good about sharing that with the actual filmmakers, and so don't go out and download the movie. Go rent it for a few bucks. That's cheaper than going to the movies to rent.
Hands down, the best deal I think any filmmaker will get on streaming is through New Village Video. I to me, what I've found so far. And they seem like they're, like Neal, because you know them a little better for sure, but they seem like they are true fans of genre films.
Definitely.
And if I'm going to work with someone, that's just like the icing on the cake to me. Because I'm not opposed to working with someone that doesn't, but yeah, there you go.
Puppy salute. We love our indie filmmakers on New Village Video. Please make more movies, Dean. Damn.
I'll get right on that.
So what is your favorite Christmas horror? I don't know if this already came up earlier.
What'd you say?
What is your own personal favorite Christmas horror?
So, as far as a movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
With family, it can get a little tough. A movie that it took me forever to see, but I absolutely love and has really climbed my list is Black Christmas. I just watched that for the first time last year.
Wow.
And I was so shocked at how much I loved it. Not that I thought it was going to be bad at all. I just wasn't expecting it to be what it was, and I absolutely love it. As far as Christmas, one of the best openings in a film ever, and you guys are both going to laugh, and it's Christmas horror, Santa's Sleigh. Now it takes a pretty hard downward swing after that opening, but that opening, that opening is fantastic.
Dream casting of Bill Goldberg and James Caan together.
Fran Drescher. How many? Yeah. I mean, it's insane. But I mean, like I like that movie, but like the opening is fantastic.
I agree. Yeah.
So yeah,
But
I would
those
say
are
Black
very,
Christmas though.
very different films, I would say.
Sure,
Santa
sure.
Slade,
Yes.
Black Christmas.
But see, that's what I love is that you don't have to just like one kind of movie over another. You know, I mean, we could do multiple episodes just on Christmas horror that I love. You know, Gremlins.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's so many great ones.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
you seen Elves?
I have, but it's been so long. It's been so long.
bad.
I was definitely Is it pretty bad?
It's so bad. It's got Nazis. It's got Grizzly Adams.
Yeah.
It's terrible, and I love it.
I have Nazis in my first film, so I'm not opposed to it. I mean, they die in a very glorious fashion, so that's what's important, I think.
A Puppy Sloop, Die Hard is a good Christmas. I will stand by. It's a Christmas movie. I got to see it at the New Bev on Christmas Eve one year, which was a very fun experience.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
And then when I was watching it, it definitely is a Christmas. I know it's a big argument, but there's Christmas music playing throughout the whole score is Christmas music.
I was just someone was just talking to me about that, and they asked about Die Hard, and then they asked about Home Alone, and they asked if they were Christmas movies or movies set at Christmas, and then they were trying to play the antagonist the whole time. They were, but yeah.
I saw recently, a couple years ago. It was I forget where it's from, but it's a foreign film, and a lot of people actually say that Home Alone stole it from this other movie.
Yes, I know.
And it was amazing. It was like it's much darker and more of an adult movie, but a little kid is in it. It there's like real deaths and stuff.
There's like trap doors and everything. It's that kid is he's that was at least a couple years before that. I don't remember what the name was. Joe Bob played it a couple years ago, I think.
Yeah. They played it at a local theater in Boston. And I never heard of it, so I went to go, and it was just a wild experience. I don't even know how to look it up, but I don't know how to look it up. But we'll try to find it at some point. It's a really bad endorsement of the movie, but it's a great movie.
You can Google what film did Home Alone rip off? That might get you somewhere.
Let's see.
Well, I guess it is this French movie from 1989. That must be it.
You found it?
They're not telling me the name. They're just saying, did it rip off this movie from a French director in 1988 called 3615? I don't remember that being the title, but Dial Code Santa Claus.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah. What is it called?
Dial Code Santa Claus.
That's right. I was really high when I watched it. I think it has to do with you're supposed to call. I mean, again, late 80s. You're supposed to call Santa Claus on like the it's kind of like a payphone setup. From what I remember. Does this sound right to you, Neil? No.
Yeah.
Vaguely, right? I mean,
I just remember it being I don't really remember the whole plot so much, just so much like it was very just a really graphic, like it's like a graphic horror version of Home Alone.
Yeah, a mentally unstable person dressed as Santa Claus shows up and starts like trying to kill this child, and like it's not a fun. It's very dark, and the kid has all these little contraptions around the house, and I think adults start showing up and start getting killed one by one. From what I remember, it's.
What's the title of this? Because I want to try to find it.
Deadly Games, Dial Code Santa Claus.
That's a long name.
Yes.
No,
I don't know if that's probably just
Deadly Games.
Yes.
That's the title. Deadly Games.
So I think I'd saw it as there you go. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the kid, he makes all kinds, he's making the booby traps, but they're much more deadly than in Home Alone.
Is on the Santa.
I think at that point he'd been he was frostbitten, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Woo.
So I recommend it. It's a weird movie, and I never heard of it until recently. So I'm glad people are starting to find it. I guess it's Unearthed Films has a special release of it.
Okay.
Jamie Hill, I have a question. Did he like Skinamarink?
He being James?
Yes, I believe. Or
My-
maybe that's Santa. Did that Santa like Skinamarink? Yeah.
So I have not watched Skinamarink. My girlfriend put it on one night, but I was so tired, and so I have not seen it all the way through. I saw the first 20 minutes. It's not a movie to put on when you're tired, I don't think.
Definitely not.
If I'm being yeah, for sure. What I saw of it, I thought was very reminiscent of a game that was like probably one of the scarier games I've ever played. Was it called PT? It was like it was something that they took off PlayStation, but it was like a Silent Hill-esque adaptation. But anyway, very, very creepy. Very, very creepy. What I saw of it, for sure.
Okay, very good. In the editing room, was there any particular scene that worked better than expected?
For the better than expected. I think it wasn't so much the editing. I had a couple moments where I love letting actors bring what they're going to bring to the role, and as long as they're not going completely off the tracks, I encourage it. And if they do, then I try to just give them an adjustment and let's get back on track here. And there were a lot of people that were really talented with improv. So I had multiple takes that often were funny. And it was more of a matter of like choosing what worked better in that regard. So I think that was a big one. And I think also just from making a couple films now, I know to get coverage, something to cut away to if I do need something to lean on in an edit. And, I think sound does a lot of heavy lifting with editing, if I'm being honest. I think that you can make a lot of things work that wouldn't normally work with the right kind of sound design.
Neal, take down this picture. It's really distracting.
What picture?
The Christmas guy picture.
It's been down for a while.
I don't see it. It's just
really?
on my screen.
I thought she was making a joke that one of us looked like him.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe just leave real quick and come back in.
Let me see what happens if I blow it up.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, I was very confused there. I wasn't sure what that message meant.
So if this was actually representing two people, Neal would be the Santa, James would be the boy.
I'd be the child. Okay, sure.
We're gonna reboot the movie.
On the screen, that's where you are, respectively. I think it went.
Yeah, I like it. So, New Village video, and then from there, can you get the? When will the physical releases be ready? I know you're sending them out to people who.
So the Indiegogos, we're gonna start We're gonna start shipping those out next week. So I expect the following week, if all goes as planned. So by Christmas, definitely. But So what are we at now? We're next week. Yeah, I mean, second week of December. I think it would. They should be out, or at least starting to ship. Yeah, we have a decent amount of pre-orders already on the website. So
oh, nice.
Yeah. I want to get them. I want to get them to people by Christmas.
Yeah. So my advice on the 8th, go and rent it from our friends at New Village Video, and then get yourself the physical copy. You can watch it again, and I assume there's going to be some specials on that. Yeah.
There's a lot of outtakes, BTS, and then my goal was to get a commentary with more than just me, but it ended up being, hey, people might find this entertaining. I've been up till 2 a.m. almost every night working on this in some capacity for like the last 6 months, and that's not an exaggeration. I've been up late. And when it came to the commentary, I got really high, and I've watched the movie 100 times, and I recorded the commentary. And it's a lot of love fest, me just talking about how much I appreciate everybody involved with the film and how talented they are. But there's definitely some information regarding when we shot things and funny little situations that came up. And yeah, I think the outtakes are a lot of fun. So there's definitely bonus features is what I'm saying.
That's very cool. I'm a big fan of commentary tracks in general, so I'm glad that there's a commentary track.
For sure.
And we want people to check out XXX-Mas, but you mentioned a couple times about writing other things. So what do you have planned for the future?
Yeah, there's a couple scripts that I've been working on. It comes down to funding. I mean, it always does. I've been working for a couple years on something called Prom Night Massacre, which would definitely be an 80s inspired film where their high school students are driving to their prom and they end up getting off on the wrong exit, hitting someone, and then it's kind of a survival thing between them and this gang.
Mhm.
I definitely would want to incorporate as much of a gritty feeling with that as possible. We of course have Absolution that's already been shot, and that's definitely I kind of talked about it a little bit, but that's something that's definitely like a cross between like Blue Ruin. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. It's a fantastic film. Jeremy Sayane, who made Green Room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So check out Blue Ruin. It's amazing. But it's a cross between like Blue Ruin and just a tiny bit of Death Wish 3. Yeah. Yeah, funding always gets in the way. And I'm working on a Giallo script, and then my
Cool.
Yeah. I think it could be a lot of fun. My Blade is Your Salvation is what that's called.
I like the name.
Yeah. I think it'd be fun. I want to bring back the GIMP suit. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think the killer should be in a GIMP suit.
All right.
Yeah. And then
That's always a good motto. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pro GIMP suit ever since People Under the Stairs. I was like 13 first time I saw it, and I've been pro GIMP. I've been yeah. And then my co-writer's actually been working on something also, and so he's just writing that on his own. He's a super talented guy, Louis Otero, and we worked together on XXX-Mas and Fontaine, our first film. And so one of those three will get made for sure. Next,
The suit priorities.
Honestly, I do feel like that is the one that I'm leaning towards the most wanting to make. Unfortunately, it is the least written of the three. But sometimes I'll write, sometimes I'll write in my head for months on time and have the story and like revise things in my head. And then when I get there and I start writing characters, the characters are all fleshed out in my head. I know their voices. I know the characters. I know the story. It's just a matter of getting some of the details down, Yeah. And it seems a lot easier when I do that for some. I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it seems like the chat's very excited
about the GIMP.
Yeah, I told you, GIMP suits are a bit. Yeah, see, yeah, killer GIMP.
GIMP suit is tight. Puppy salute. Give us the GIMP.
Give us the GIMP. Yeah, I mean, I think all three of these movies we're looking at needing $100,000 to make. Maybe more. So
3, 4, 5 crowdfunders in this space right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we raised almost 40,000 on XXX-Mas, and I do think with the right tools in place and the right producers who would have the understanding and like the experience with crowdfunding, I think we could definitely hit 60 to 80. And that's just a guess. I just think it's also having the right people that have that experience. I've had a lot of good people around me, but the Indiegogo was mostly just me busting my ass on it. And I mean, I'm not saying that no one shared anything. A lot of people stepped up and shared, and I was on your show, I mean, like, I can't do that by myself. I can't just jump on and So there's a lot of people that helped, but I was probably spending 6 hours a day for 60 days because we had to extend the campaign to make sure we hit our goal, And so
producer.
Yeah. We need a few people, but I have some good producers that just don't like social media, but that doesn't help me in that regard.
Yeah. Kind of important part of making anything now.
Right.
Yeah. That's a big part of, especially currently. Right.
Yeah. I was asked to come on another film as a producer to help them run their Indiegogo. And I was talking to you a little bit about the film beforehand. It would have been a great opportunity because of everyone attached to it. But I knew that I couldn't do that and finish this movie for this year.
Yeah.
So I passed on it. And I mean, it would have been an amazing opportunity. But I also would have been like killing myself for someone else's project. And I don't mind helping people, and I did share the campaign and talk about it, but there's a huge difference between that and running a campaign. And there also would have been a huge difference between the way I ran my campaign and the way I would run someone else's, depending on what they're okay with and what they're not okay with.
True.
Yeah.
And then you have to check in. Whereas you can just do your own thing and you don't have to check in with anybody. You have to like have that back and forth, and that's just it's
correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I think that there's some things that people, when it comes to crowdfunding, they don't like. I don't like, I don't mind ever, I'm not opposed to just meeting you online, Annabelle, and saying, hey, Annabelle, here's a film we're making. If you have any interest, take a look at it. If you do, let me know if you have any questions. I don't like the whole follow up and badgering, which I've seen people do.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with like messaging people and saying, hey, this is what we're doing. If you have an interest, cool. If not, thanks for taking a look at it. I did a lot of that, but again, I've had people badger me, continue to message me back.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's not
I
something
think
I'm
all
going
of
to
us-
do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've unfortunately blocked people for doing that.
Yeah. No, yeah. Well, even just messaging people, you never know, man. I had a guy send me a picture of him posing with his guns and talking about, I mean, like, you don't know who you're messaging. That's
It's
all I'm going to
easy
say.
to either not reply or just say I'm not interested.
How is
Yeah.
that supposed to appeal to anyone? That's so I don't know, that's weird.
Yeah. What last year my friends list went from about 1,200 to like about 4,500, and I'll tell you that there were a handful of blocks that definitely had to occur. And
Okay.
I don't block people easily, but they were hardcore. Like, we're done here.
Yeah.
Much more easily now. If I get a friend request, I'm like, I never have to see you again. Boom.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
I started on Facebook, especially, I just accepted everyone who sent me a friend request. But
Yeah.
through part of it is they have that 5,000 limit, but it's also like you said, you see certain people like you can be open minded about certain things, but after a while, it's like, I don't think I need to be associated with this. Yeah.
Right. I'm pretty, I get along with all kinds of people.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be hateful in any way, shape, or form,
Yeah.
I'm not interested. I mean, and there's a lot of that out there right now.
Well, you'll see like a person and they'll like have a picture of some beautiful woman, and then it'll be like a man's name and a bunch of ads. I don't need that.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
No, you're definitely on to something there.
Yeah. As Dave says, I badger the F out of Neil. It's very true.
Oh, that's the one exception. I message Neil all the time. I send him some weird pictures at 4 a.m., but he seems to like it, so it's okay.
Yeah, well, that's the kind of guy I am. I like to send weird stuff at 4 a.m. too.
He didn't
Annabelle keeps me like muted because I'll message
him.
people in the middle of the
He's
night.
up at such crazy hours. I have like a real normal 9-to-5 job. I can't have you like 4 a.m. like, check this out.
He messaged
He
messaged me the link for the StreamYard at 1 a.m. yesterday, but I was still up till 2. I was like, okay, got you. I heard it at 2 a.m. So
In my mind, though, when I send it, I just assume people aren't going to really look until they get up the next day.
Dude, if it's like, if you message me a text on my phone and it's like, boop, or whatever.
Well, yeah, but I mean Facebook, because I have my Facebook just silent anyway, so I don't really see anything until I'm actually on it.
My Facebook is completely silent. I get nothing from that.
My ringer is off almost all hours of the day. I just don't. I mean, I look at my phone. I'm on my phone enough. If someone needs to get a hold of me, I'll see it. Yeah.
In case of emergency, I have it.
All right.
And then I just mute the people that can't. Oh, what time it is?
About monsterkidsfilm.com/ it might be a backslash, or that's a / XXX-Mas.
I think that looks right.
Yeah.
And
I'll put the link in the description so people can click on it.
Yeah.
It'll be like magic.
Yeah.
It'll be right there. So this has been very fun, James, and I know you've got some stuff that you have to be doing.
Yes, I do. Yeah. But no, I appreciate you guys having me on. It was a lot of fun talking. And anyone that's interested in checking out the movie December 8th, newvillagevideo.com. And, physical media is out there. If you see me on the socials, say hi. I try my best to get back to every single person, unless you're sending me pictures of you with a gun threatening me. Then, unless your name's Neil, in that case, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't send a lot of gun pictures. So
yeah.
Maybe that's your next style.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe a knife picture.
Camouflage. You could get like wraparound sunglasses.
I'm gonna reinvent myself, right?
Yes. You'd be a new man.
All right. We're gonna get a whole new fan base. Yeah.
Well.
All right. Well, James, it's good to see you again, and we'll do this again. We doesn't have to be every year. It could be, it could be in between then. But yeah, anytime
yeah,
you
for
like to
sure.
come on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were
definitely.
like, it doesn't have to be every year. I hope I don't see you for another 5 years. Good time
Yeah,
out
I
there.
mean, yeah. I'm always down just to talk films too. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan, so I dig it. Yeah.
Nice.
So.
Oh, and Pepe says I sent Neal and Annabelle the Santa Claus the Devil trailer in Messenger. Well,
Nice.
I'd play it here, but we might get. We probably wouldn't get like copyright for playing it, but I don't want to chance it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Forward it to me because I want to check it out.
All right, definitely will.
Yeah.
All right.
See ya.
See ya.
All right. Well, we're gonna go to a quick break. I'm gonna play something or other. I don't know, and then
If it
we'll be
doesn't
back.
reboot my image because it is still that Santa,
Right.
then I will leave and come back.
All right. I'm gonna play actually a trailer for the upcoming Severed Limbs 15 that's coming up in January.
All right. Sounds
and we'll be
good.
For lovers of horrific imagination, short films full of dark creations, sights and sounds from the underground. Seven Limbs is your destination. If you crave tales and dreams, originate outside the mainstream. Sights and sounds from the underground. Seven Limbs is your destination. Seven Limbs is your destination. Seven Limbs is your destination. With Nasty Neal. Seven Limbs is your destination.
Damn it! Oh, it worked. Okay. It's when you turn it back for a brief blink, it was the Santa and boy.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, weird.
Really
But
weird.
anyways,
Yeah. When
moving on.
I saw you message that, I was like, I don't know what she's talking about, but that's weird.
Yeah, I
That's
was
never
like,
happened
why does he
before.
leave this up? It's just doesn't make any sense. But he was wonderful. I'm so sorry I wasn't here on time, but I made it.
Yes.
I made it.
Yes, it's very, very funny actually to watch it. I was like, oh, this will be a perfect fit for New Village Video, and I thought I'd be cool and suggest that to him and suggest it to Tara. And here, it's already the worked out deal.
Yeah, I need these movies like in advance. I can't be like, here it is, 2 days.
Well, sometimes Oh
no, it's not like all you or anything. Well, maybe sometimes it is. I don't know, but they gotta like. Alas, it's a
hell
me
yeah,
problem.
puppy
It's a me
sloop.
problem.
Boom. So yeah, check out New Village Video. We have to. I know it's been very busy the last few months, but we're gonna try to get some New Village Video guests on once in a while as well in the podcast.
It has been. It's very hectic. We've got a guest list that's like a bajillion years long.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm trying to actually someone was possibly on the but next week.
Next week's
Well, I'm
exciting.
not sure we have everyone lined up yet, but
We have 2 people lined up.
are they both for sure?
Yeah. That's what I understand. That person was pretty excited about it.
All right. So next week, Marley Renfro, Janet Leigh's body double from Psycho. Very cool. I was looking into it. It's not just a shower scene. She's also dragged and thrown into the and she said it was not necessarily very comfortable. So we will we'll talk to her about that.
That's such a cool guest. So I'm loving that. I just like I feel like that's a big honor for the show to have this person on from the original Psycho.
Yes. People who know me, it's one of my all-time favorite films. Movie I watched since a little kid. Used to have I used to have Psycho shirts from when I was a kid. Just something that I always loved. And to have someone on the show from the movies, like really exciting.
I had a Psycho shirt as a kid, but I didn't get it for the movie.
No.
True story.
I actually sold an old shirt I had just like in the last year. I had a Psycho shirt from Universal Studios.
Oh,
I sold it on the eBay because it was
sure you made like crazy money for it.
yeah, it's
Neil
pretty good.
Midas Jones.
Pretty good.
So
But
that's
look
a
at
really
this.
exciting guest to have on. And oh, look at that.
It's a painting from Annabelle for my birthday. Wow, it'll be from 10 years ago in a few months.
No,
2014.
wow.
Crazy.
Dang.
We will. I'll definitely show that when she's on the show. And
Cool.
Anastasia
Elfman.
Elfman will be on the show.
Yeah, we weren't sure, and then I like thought maybe I'd give it a try, and she's very enthusiastic about it. So yeah, she's got a lot of stuff. I think I sent you the message. She has a lot of stuff to share about, and
Yeah.
like James, she just loves talking about horror movies.
Mm-hmm. Very
So
cool.
That's going to be a great double header.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll be awesome. Past, present, a lot of stuff going on there. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Psycho is a classic. Loved all four of them. I didn't really like the TV show. I really despise the TV show, and I watched it from the beginning to end, and I thought it was horrendous. But
the one about Norman Bates as a young person,
yeah. No, Bates Motel. It was like a it's like they added this brother. It was so much like they had like these cool like sexy people in it, and it was more about like their love affair and just a really bad show. And then I had to keep watching to see how it ended, thinking it was basically like a prequel to the original Psycho, and spoiler, it is not. So
that's really sad.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I'm not a completionist. I just have no need to finish things I don't like. I was like,
bad.
I'm done. I'm done.
Very bad. But what's not bad? I saw the sneak. It comes out tomorrow, but I saw the sneak screening of it last night.
Oh.
It is Godzilla Minus One. It's basically a reboot or remake of the original Godzilla. It's the origin of Godzilla during World War II Japan. Great. This is probably my favorite Godzilla movie. I loved it.
Wow.
Godzilla stuff's awesome in it. It's actually genuinely scary.
So it's not like the other more recent Godzilla movies that I do not like.
No.
I just don't.
And then and the human story's great in it, which is usually almost always lacking. But
Yes.
that's the real power in the movie, honestly. So
I haven't even seen any pictures.
Post World War II Japan. This isn't a sport. Post World War II Japan. After the bomb, a disgraced kamikaze pilot comes home because he's still alive, and like he's get blamed. If you weren't a coward, maybe we would have won and everything. And yeah. So then
this Godzilla is awesome.
Yeah, the Godzilla is great in it.
Yeah, like that was I was with someone the other day who was watching the King Kong versus Godzilla shit movie. Well, in my opinion.
Right.
And I was like, Godzilla looks so stupid. His proportions are so weird. For Godzilla, I'm like, this doesn't even just how can this be based off the thing and how modernized it is for like the modern audience? And I was just like really disgusted by it. But and I hadn't seen any of this Godzilla stuff, and holy shit, it's freaking amazing. It's such a perfect modernization of the original Godzilla. It's just amazing. I love it.
Yeah,
I'm really excited about this. I don't want to hold you to it, but if I do actually feel better.
I'd go see it again.
Cool.
I really liked it. It's a long movie. It's over 2 hours. Really good though. The story's great in it, and if it wasn't for that, like the monsters were great. Spoilers, just Godzilla, because I did hear it was a really busy theater, and I did hear a couple people that were upset that he wasn't fighting other monsters.
What? Do you need to tell me this?
No, it's not a spoiler.
Can you do I'll close
think that's
my
a spoiler
ears
at all.
and you wave when it's over.
Okay, it's over, but I don't think that's a spoiler.
What?
Monarch I've not seen Monarch, but I've heard good things about it. That's the new Godzilla TV show on
Oh,
Apple TV, and I believe it's also Japanese made, though it does have Kurt Russell in it, but I believe it is Japanese made.
well, Japan does like some American actors.
Yes, it's all the monster stuff's great in this one, Puppy Salute. It's he's genuinely scary in this, I think.
I want to watch the original one before going. I think it'll be a good lead in.
Yeah.
Why is my internet just like being all fucked? Apparently that picture wasn't the only thing that's screwed up right now.
Looking like I do want to mention the week I mentioned who's on next week. The week after that, maybe Christopher Young, composer
Yeah!
of so many great horror themes, Hellraiser, The Grudge, Drag Me to Hell, all kinds of stuff. So, and we talked to him years ago, but unfortunately that was lost on a broken hard drive, so the video's not up.
That's very sad. That was like an irreparable hard drive? I thought you
Yes.
salvaged something somewhere.
Yeah, I have some audio from some interviews, and they're up, like the Tall Angus Scrim and stuff. But that one there is nothing left of that.
That's too
Just
bad.
a photo.
There is a photo.
Mhm.
I remember it.
Yeah.
I have very strong memories of that interview. It was pretty great. Yeah, look at
Boom.
that thing. It's great. I mean, I don't know if that's like shows how true to Godzilla it is, but it's an awesome picture.
Yeah, it's great. The movie's awesome. I highly recommend it. Whoops. It's off now. Do you still see it?
I do not.
All right. Sorry. Yeah, Monarch Legacy of Monsters. That's the new show on Apple TV. There's so many streaming. Seemed like an odd one for me that it would pop up on there. But anyway, James Dean, very cool. I played the trailer, which I was really happy with her Severed Limbs 15. So people can. We've already got a lot of cool submissions. It's free to submit. Send in your short films. Send in your trailers. It'll be a fun time coming up in January.
Oh, what's going on with Secret Satan?
Oh,
Before I
Secret
forget to
Satan.
bring it up.
So yeah, Secret Satan. We just got the picture. So send this in, Neil Jones. So we'll explain it first. Secret Satan. You get send in a gift, make it fairly small, whatever you want to do, but don't spend a lot of money. Horror-esque, nothing like nothing like super sexual. Use common sense. I also because where I am, I can't send anything that's any alcohol, so don't send alcohol and don't send tobacco, stuff like that.
Send something like this.
Yeah.
Cute little Etsy dude that I bought for myself because he's so fucking cute. Something like this, like a small size. Because Neil is so generous to be re-shipping them so everybody stays anonymous to each other. So I know I don't want my address out and about.
Yeah.
And
So
probably many people don't. So
send
you
something
send it
in.
Neil,
It's like a secret Santa gift exchange, but for the Without Your Head community.
There's lots of cool things.
Troy has already given me his.
Ah.
What about something homemade? Yeah, you can send something homemade. That's cool.
Yeah.
Here, my mom gave me this
technically.
today. It's a Christmas ornament, a little Jason Voorhees, so you could send us something like that. I didn't have time to put him up here, but he's pretty cool. So whatever it is, it could be a movie. And honestly, if you're someone who makes movies or does merchandise, whatever, that's totally cool. You could send in your own movie on DVD, Blu-ray, whatever. You could send in if you're like former music of the month, or just you do cool horror music. You could send in like your own CD, hat, buttons, that kind of stuff. Whatever it is, just as long as it's fun, horror themed, and just use common sense. Nothing like that we're not going to want to give to someone. Not like hardcore pornography or something. Well, you never know.
We do regular pornography, but not hardcore pornography. You know, keep it light.
Right. Exactly. But anyway, it's a fun time, and then send in pictures when you get them. Well, we try to open them at Christmas, but whenever you happen to open them, and Annabelle, Troy, and I will open ours here live on the show. I think we'll try.
No Jordash.
Right. Something horror themed.
Who sent that in? Can we embarrass them?
No, because he's passed away.
Oh, never. Oh, now I feel bad for even saying anything because now I know who it is, and yeah. Well, just try to keep it horror themed.
Yeah.
Horror
no
or
billionaire. Speaking
creepy.
of that, Vic,
I'd say horror or creepy.
Yeah, horror creepy. That's kind of like I know it's a general.
You know what
term,
I mean?
but,
Like it doesn't have to be a horror character.
Right.
It can just be some weird thing.
I'm going to scroll this across the bottom, but
I like the scrolling thing you're doing nowadays.
Yes.
What about a book?
Yeah, books, cool, anything like that.
So if you're an author, you could ship out your own book.
And Annabelle, Troy, and I are also giving gifts, so you might get something from one of us.
Yeah, the creep theme. Who is this Facebook user right now? Someone said nice haircut, and I don't know who that was towards. I'll pretend it was me. But
there we
go. There you go. I love that. That's great. And when did you discover this?
Just recently.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Amber Vines.
Yes. What about Amber Vines?
She sent in a nice creep theme, nice haircut.
Oh, cool. Oh, cool. Amber Vines. Been a while. Dang.
Deadline to get it to me early, probably in the next couple weeks, honestly.
Yeah, because it needs time to ship out. And Neal also has to actually like repackage it. Right. And he's a busy man.
Yeah, especially this time of year. But it's a very fun time. We didn't get to do it during COVID and everything, so it's very cool to bring it back.
4 sides of cross productions. I like.
Woohoo!
What?
I will wait by the door for my brand new condo. Dang.
Vic asks an important question.
Oh, apparently Amber Vine has Corona. Well, I mean Rona. Let's see. Where did no billionaire dinosaur stuff then? Very true. But I did see I don't know who this person is though. Emerald Fennell wants to get in on the dinosaurs and making an erotic Jurassic Park film.
The funk.
Totally stealing our thunder.
Seriously. Well, you know what? We're just that amazing that the world is listening to us. We're just gonna pretend that's true. I don't know. We need to get the author on, man.
We need to find them.
I just gave you the information. It says contact the person. I'm finding them again right now.
All right, we'll do it.
Make it inescapable for you. Monster. Okay, I gotta look at Amazon first.
Yeah. Puppy Sloot's going to be sending something in from New Village Video. Well, I don't know from New Village Video or not, but she's from New Village Video. She's going to get in on the Secret Satan. So it'll be a good time.
That would be very cool.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So MaXXXine has a poster that's coming out. That's the third of the trilogy from X and Goth, and it is really cool how it's over like many decades, and
I was not really big on X.
Mm-hmm.
I did not watch Pearl because of how big I was not on X.
I think you'd actually like Pearl better.
I didn't. Well, I think we reviewed that movie, right? I think we did, and I don't know. I felt like it was very ageist.
I agree.
I didn't like that. If they kept that, it could have been great, and it didn't need that particular stuff. That is awesome. It was so funny when you put up the picture from that other movie that with Santa and the boy.
Yeah.
I had said to Neal earlier, he sent this to me in a message, and I was like, that is like the grossest Santa I've ever seen. But they're pretty close to each other.
Yeah.
Similar
Trey did a really good job on that one. It was fun to color.
Grossness.
Yeah.
So
that's gonna pop up on a shirt here eventually.
Nice.
Did you ever see the prequel they did recently to the Predator called Prey?
I don't think
I
so.
thought it was great. It was it came out and I think they made a big mistake where they put it on streaming and didn't go theatrical, and everyone really liked it. And I think it actually would have done really well theatrical. And so it was Prey set during Prey comes down and is fighting the Native American Indians back in the day, hunting them down.
Huh.
And a female warrior then is, trying to defend her village against the Predator. It's a great movie, really, really well made. I think it's actually the best Predator sequel. I think the original Predator is the best movie by far, but I actually thought it was probably the best sequel. And so the follow-up to this, they call it the Prey sequel, but I don't know if it's so much a Prey sequel as just another sequel, a prequel in the Predator storyline. And this one's going to take place during World War II. And I actually kind of like this idea of taking the Predator and placing them in different locations and different times, because even the original one, like when they show like the ship and stuff, the idea is that it's come to Earth over years to hunt people. So if it comes down different times, I kind of like this.
All right, so I should see this stuff.
Yeah, see Prey. I think you'd actually really like it. I like it a lot. New Nosferatu's coming out in 2024.
Really? Did we know this already?
Predator died after second. I really think the second movie is not good personally, but I say watch Prey. I think Prey's better than the second. No, Roger Eggers Nosferatu.
Oh God, that can't. No. There's an image revealed. Excuse me. And I don't like it. But he looks like a clown. I don't know what's going on in this. I mean, I don't think this is a good choice for image. I'm going to send it your way. And you'll see what I mean. I think you'll see what I mean. Where are you?
I'm right here.
Aha! Neil Jones. All right. So my problem with this image, I just shared it in the Facebooks.
Well, what the image there, they actually are taking an image from It.
They did, okay.
Yeah, because it's the same. It's an actor from It who plays Pennywise in the new It films. So it's not really a good thing to use. Honestly,
terrible. No, it's not good.
At least use just the actor. Don't use them in another movie. It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Especially like they're mashed together as if it is an actual still from the movie.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's true, Pepe. You can watch up. They did put out a version of Prey in the Native American language, which is interesting.
Did they? Wow. Yeah. Well, what Native American language? It's not like.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, I'm sure you can look this up. I just don't know offhand. I will check out Prey and hold you personally responsible if I don't like it. I do it. 4 sides. I think you'll be surprised. I knew people who were really even against the idea of the movie, and then when they saw it, they changed their mind. They thought it was really good.
Nosferatu.
Trust me. I know originally when they made Prey, the original concept was to put it out and not tell anyone it was a Predator movie, which is interesting. But then I think that they thought like, well, are people going to watch it? Which it would be interesting that you just are watching a movie about, this Native Indian warrior, and then bam, Predator pops up. It is a cool idea. But anyway, check it out. Oh, it's not. It was for Hulu, which seems odd, but it was good. From Google, it says Comanche is the Native American language. Well, thank you, Puppy Salute.
Is the language in it?
Mhm. I appreciate that. Want
you
to
know
shout
that
out
Willem-
to
What?
was that, sorry?
You
I just
were
want to give a
talking
shout
about
out to Annabella Rich for doing a review of There's Something in the Barn. That's up on the website
Wish I
withoutyourhead.com.
could have seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
Did not happen. Willem Dafoe is going to be in this new Nosferatu.
There's Something in the Barn's not out yet, but there was a special press screening of it in England, in London. And so Bella Rich went to see it for us and reviewed it.
Yes.
But it comes out in a couple days. I think it comes out early next week. What were you saying?
I was going back to the topic you had started with, which was Nosferatu.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think about this? Well, I was saying Willem Dafoe is going to be in it, if you weren't aware.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of Willem Dafoe, and I also kind of like the tie-in that he plays. He's in the other,
Yes.
but he doesn't play Nosferatu.
No.
I don't think he
Well,
does.
he was amazing in Shadow of the Vampire.
Yeah, I
love
think
it.
Shadow of the Vampire is great.
Yeah.
I even though it's hard to like really talk about the Herzog Nosferatu because of the man, the guy who plays Nosferatu is a really rotten person. It's a really good movie, honestly. So I like all three versions of Nosferatu if you include Shadow of the Vampire.
Who's the person who's a really rotten person?
In the Werner Herzog one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
I can't.
So and I'm not an anti-remake guy. I don't think when you remake stuff from a few years ago it makes any sense when like the movie's like fresh in people's minds. I just don't really understand that. But I mean, the original Nosferatu's 100 years ago. The remake's like 50 years ago. So I'm fine with doing a new Nosferatu.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Robert Eggers will nail the look. I don't always love his movies, but they always look great. So,
and it's actually out on December 25th.
Really?
Interesting. And I guess Jordan Peele, it says in this article from the Hollywood Reporter that Jordan Peele is also releasing a movie on Christmas, which is interesting. So Bill Skarsgård, Nicholas Holtz, Lily Depp Rose star in Nosferatu alongside Aaron Taylor Johnson, Emma Corrin, Ralph Ineson.
I think it comes out next Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Both those come out next Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Simon McBurney and Willem Dafoe. The film is Eggers' take on the classic vampire made famous in the F.W. Murnau 1922 film. The logline for Eggers' Nosferatu reads, a gothic tale of obsession between a haunted young woman and the terrifying vampire infatuated with her, causing untold horror in its wake.
I had mentioned this before. I agree, though. Werner Herzog's Grizzly documentary is great.
I want to see
She's
that.
crazy weird.
Yeah.
It plays almost like a dark comedy. It's a documentary, and people actually the real story that
die.
Yeah. So it's got a weird vibe to it, but it's also does have a comedic touch to it. It's but I agree, it's a great movie. So yeah, I'm into it. How about you, Nosferatu? I'm a huge Nosferatu fan. It's probably my favorite vampire film. So I'm into a new one.
Yeah. I mean, we just saw that like shit movie based on Dracula. That was so disappointing.
Yeah, well, I know a lot of people loved it, but neither of us were into it whatsoever.
No. Do people like it?
Yeah, I've seen people say it was like one of the best horror movies ever made.
What? Who said that? Come on now.
James Lamont from I like him, but I don't know. He's going crazy over it. He's throwing babies in the air. So excited.
Oh my god. Well, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Exactly. Let's see. Tim Cappello, former guest on the show, the Sax Man, is going on tour.
Get out! When?
So tomorrow he'll be in Memphis, Tennessee.
Get the fuck out. When are you
Next,
gonna be in Boston?
no Boston.
Anything near Boston?
No.
Fucker.
I think Memphis is probably the closest one. Memphis, Texas,
Damn.
California. But for Puppy Sloot out there, he will be in Phoenix, Arizona on the 23rd and Tucson, Arizona on the 29th
Of December?
of December. Yep.
Damn. Does he want to
He's
come on the show
using
and promote it?
logic, though. Go to Arizona in December. Don't be like Mad Monster and go to Arizona in July.
July is pretty extreme.
Yeah.
Like there's different times of year they're okay, but like it gets to be like 120 degrees.
Yeah.
I went to Arizona as a child, and I remember I didn't understand like what happens to a person when they get too hot because I was pretty young.
Mhm.
So I remember being in a car once and I was like basically hallucinating because it was so hot. It was really bad. It's really bad. But anyways, I know I am kind of like very intense about our guest list now that I did set up the spreadsheet.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's good to keep on
Uh-huh.
track. And would he come on the show to promote his
Oh,
tour?
probably. He's a good guy. Had him on the show. Really great interview. You guys checked out the archive, but it wasn't video. Yeah, maybe we can try to set that up. I don't know. He might be really busy on tour, so I don't know. But
Fair.
I think in theory he would be into it.
That would be cool. Maybe he could be music of the month sometime.
That'd be sweet. We don't have one in December, so I don't know. I don't know if he's got enough like stuff. I don't know. I'll
He's
look
on
into it.
tour. He's got to have enough stuff.
Yeah. He doesn't just stand there playing We Will Believe, or I Still Believe.
I still believe. I can listen to that song. One day, I listened to that song on repeat, and
I love it.
It was summer. I had the windows down. Like, it was amazing.
The only issue I have with it is I do think it overshadows the other creepy music in the movie. But that whole movie has really creepy tunes in it.
Which
well,
one?
I still believe it's not necessarily creepy, but the opening theme is very creepy.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Cry Little Sister.
Yeah. Puppy Sloot says you'll die in July. Not 4 sides of cross productions. Are you telling me you've never watched the original Nosferatu? Or is he just saying he won't watch the new one? Because you have to have seen the original, or at least be willing to watch the original Nosferatu.
It's good. You have to have a good, there's different scores for it. Some are better than others. I was so blessed because one year the very prestigious Berklee School of Music in Boston put on a production. They scored it. The children scored Nosferatu and played it in this amazing operatic looking theater. It was Halloween time. People were dressed in there was rich people, clearly not rich people, people in costumes, people not in costumes. It was high goth, royalty and all kinds of stuff. It was amazing crowd that was so diverse. And there was everybody watching Nosferatu with this amazing score. That was an experience. If you can have an experience like that, but it doesn't come across every day.
Right.
It's a great movie. It's part of history. It's horror history.
Do it. And it's still creepy, still holds up. The vision of Nosferatu himself. And then go watch Shadow the Vampire if you've never seen it. Because Shadow the Vampire works because Nosferatu is so creepy. It's there's a little bit of you can suspend disbelief. Maybe this guy was a freaking vampire. Look how creepy the guy looks.
Mm-hmm.
Not to spoil Shadow the Vampire.
Oh, we saw it a long time ago.
All right.
They saw it a long time.
All right. I'll give you a pass.
All right. I really appreciate. Pepe asked me if I was okay. I think my voice is getting progressively more froggy and awful.
Right.
So far, no pain, which is a step up from the past couple of days. So that's good.
Yeah.
Headed in the right direction. Sickness Part 3.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're okay here.
Me too, because it sucks to be sick all the time.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what else is going on in the world of horror?
Well, we on a serious note, we want to wish our friend and reviewer here, Diablo Joe, one of our reviewers, Joe Needbala, wish him well, and he's got a I don't know if it's GoFundMe or he's got a crowdfunding out there to help him. There's a fire at his home, and so he's displaced at the moment and needs some help. If people out there can help, it would be greatly appreciated. And if not, you could always share it, and that's a help.
Yeah, it was in the news. If you're in Massachusetts, it's in Waltham. There was a Thanksgiving night fire. He wasn't at home, and it was in a building next to his building. But the fire was so intense that it caught part of the building on fire, and then the firefighters had to like fight the fire so it didn't take out the entire house. So there's tons of water damage, and they think that they can save the building, but it's going to take it, like, the estimate is 9 months to a year, maybe being like that's the ideal timeline. So yeah, Joe is, I mean, he's got a really cool, awesome job, and that's where he needs to stay. He loves his community. Where he lives is, it's a big deal. Everybody's safe. Just want to say that too. Like, just so everybody knows,
Yeah.
everybody in that whole entire scenario is safe. No one was injured. The firefighters did an amazing job. Like, if you see the pictures of what happened, it's like amazing that the building got saved. Yeah, but so I don't know if you found it yet, but there's his boss started the crowdfunding because Joe is not one to like call attention to his problems. So out of the kindness and generosity of that person,
Yeah, it's
they
GoFundMe.
started. Yeah, it super sucks, Pepe. It's awful. It's awful.
But it's nice to see that people have come forward to help out.
Yeah. But I'll add in, just so people probably will get this, that Joe does really amazing reviews, but he probably won't be doing a lot of them because it's, there's a lot on his plate.
Yeah.
So perfect.
Mm-hmm. People
Can that
who
go on that scrolling thing?
What?
Can that go on that little scrolling thing you've got going on?
Yeah.
Them wives. They're always. I'm sure she has your best interests at heart.
All right. Let's see here. I was making sure that was going right, and it is.
It's right. It's right enough. You could have more than one thing there.
Oh yeah, it's that's fine.
Yeah, it's got both. Yeah.
So yeah, he'll probably be on hiatus for a while doing for the reviews, but you could check out the ones that are up there. And now the main thing is we want Joe to have a place to live and everything. The reviews can come again. We had some questions. By the way, shout out to people who are watching on Twitch. This is the first time we're doing Without Your Head on Twitch as well.
Yes.
I do prefer people come to the YouTube just because it's there forever. But it's good to watch it wherever you can. You can send in questions and comments during the show.
Mm-hmm. Can you pop up some of these great comments from Four Sides?
Yeah. Also, please, even if you're not watching on Twitch, go and follow Without Your Head on Twitch. I want us to get to 50 followers so we can also upload videos on Twitch.
That would be awesome. I'm
Great
so
show.
glad Twitch is finally happening.
Yeah. So we'll be on live every week on Twitch. Also next Friday it'll be Saturday Night Frights on Friday because that's how it worked out. But it'll be a Rust Belt Driller. Will you play? I can play the trailer if you'd like to see it. 4 Sides of Cross Productions. Great show. My wife is telling me I have to get off the computer now. I told her I was a grown man. I could do what I wanted. But her smile is scaring me right now. Pray for me. All right. We'll allow it, I guess. I keep saying I'm the boss, but she locks me into this closet. Well, whatever you guys do in the privacy of your own homes.
The question is he wearing the gimp suit when he's locked in the closet?
Exactly. I have a remember the mask? I bought a mask. We were gonna go see what was it? It was
all I can think that makes sense is, like you said, people under the stairs, which I agree. I was like, holy shit, people cool like this. And Pulp Fiction. I know a lot of other gimp happenings.
It wasn't that. We were actually going to go see a Christmas event at a place called the Ramrod.
Really?
In Boston.
That was a long time ago then.
Oh, yeah. I know it was a long time ago. And so I bought this mask. And then we didn't go.
Good night, 4 Sides. I hope you don't mind me calling you 4 Sides. It just flows. 4 Sides.
Let me find. I found
no comment about the gimp suit. That's postable. I wish I had the power to post the comments. Oh my god. I remember that picture. Oh no.
I don't know where that mask is anymore. It was funny though, one day, this true story, and like all the lies I normally tell. No. But I always wonder that when people say this is true, it's like, well, what does that mean? The rest of it was lies. But I was going through a suitcase and it had that mask in it. I was like, what the hell did I bring that for? But yeah.
It was that one of your Jason Minton trips or a John Howard trip?
It was that and a raccoon skin cap. If that was a very weird combination.
I can imagine you bringing that. No, you didn't go on a lot of Jason Howard, John Howard trips, but I can imagine you bringing it specifically to freak him the fuck out.
That could be. Which is a good time.
Yeah, you fuck with him every show. I think that's the only reason you stay. Truly, just to fucking
to troll.
That's the real reason.
It is a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Cue Judas Priest for the leather. Oh! By the way, go on, sorry.
Nothing. I was just
singing
to myself.
Yes.
Which one you trying to
say? Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, this is funny. I actually took a picture of that mat. So yeah, this is what happened. So I was going through one of my I was a small luggage that I would just use for like overnight trips. And it had a Hillbilly Jim t-shirt, the mask, and a raccoon skin cap. And I was like, what the hell? So it was so weird. I took a picture of it because I thought it was funny.
It looks like someone would do that for a purpose. Like I mean, like that seems like a prank to pull on someone, like put that in their luggage. Did someone creep into your stuff?
Well, I arranged it so it looked, but still, those were the 3 things in there. I thought it was very weird.
Weird things. Very weird, Neal. Very weird.
But I'm a pretty average guy. So let's go find. I did ask for people questions or comments. I'm gonna go dig these up. All right, here we go. I found. Do you like horror animations? Would love to get your feedback on my short horror animations on, I believe this is this is FSO. I don't know how to say this. FSOCROSS.com. I mean, that's 4 Sides. 4 Sides of Cross Productions. Well, Yeah, very cool. By the way, if you'd like to, if you want to, you could submit. I don't know if they're. I'd have to look at them, but maybe it'd be something you could submit to Severed Limbs if you'd like. And I don't want to play him on the show because I'm not sure if he was still here. We could get his okay or not. But
Yikes.
check these out, Warcross.
The background image on this website is fucking terrifying.
Yeah, with the teeth.
Yeah, if you scroll down
So
and you see the whole
interesting.
thing,
Now
it's
we
like
look at
I wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
I made it too big. That is really scary. I don't like it at all. No. So I'm really curious.
Robert Budzinski wants to know, is Jaws a horror movie? No, I've said many times I don't care for the arguments over if whatever is this or whatever. To me, it doesn't really matter. But if you just want to ask in a fun way, do I consider a Jaws a horror movie? I would say yes.
Yeah, why? What would it be? It's got a giant man-eating shark.
Well,
people.
Believe me, when you go down this road of arguing over genre, people recently told me a horror movie has to have supernatural elements, and I was like, well, then almost all slashers aren't horror, and then they were trying to argue with me that Texas Chainsaw is not a horror movie, and I was just like, come on, man. If that's not a horror movie, what the hell is?
Call them out by name. Who is
I don't even remember the name, but it was a big argument on my Facebook about it.
If they tell you in private, that's one thing.
No, it's a public on Facebook. It was just, I actually know it was Tommy
Two-Tone.
Tommy something or other. He does a podcast, Tommy something. But
Tommy, come on. That's just attention-seeking shit. Come on, man.
Yeah, there's no. If you want to argue Predator, science fiction, and not horror, I think it's kind of. For me, I think it's both.
Cosmic horror. Ha.
Sure, you can cut all these things down into subgenres or whatever. Alien, if you want to, Alien, Predator. To me, they're both. You could say it's a sci-fi. You could say it's horror, but to me, they're both.
You could say they're a drama because there's the drama.
That's another thing people tell me. If something has character development, it's not a horror movie. And it's like, so what is a horror movie? It's just nonstop killing. You have no story. You just have a guy run around or a ghost run around killing. Who the hell wants to even see something like that? But
I mean, maybe, but
right. But the idea that a horror movie can't have story development, it has to have all this stuff is just nonsense. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like, what would you even argue it is? What the hell is it if it's not a horror movie? If you were working at Blockbuster and you had a copy of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, what category are you putting it in? You gotta put it in horror.
I think Puppy Sloot is. I go with what she's saying, that a horror movie is anything that horrifies you.
There you go.
I think that's very fair.
Right. Yeah, because I have people, look, you cannot like The Walking Dead. That's totally fine. But when people would argue, one guy blocked me because he's arguing that The Walking Dead's not a horror show. And it's like, well, it is a horror show. You might not like it, but it's a horror show. And he said it's post-apocalyptic survival drama, whatever. This big giant thing. And I was like,
it's got fucking zombies in it.
Did you ever walk into a video store and say, bring me to the post-apocalyptic survival drama section? Was there 3 things there? You'd have to split your store into 8,000 sections. Anyway, so
I think
I'm glad he brought up, is Jaws a horror movie? Yes. Is it a drama? Sure.
It has drama. I mean, that's what makes a good story, is having
the new Godzilla has drama.
The purpose of a fucking story.
Right.
Drama is so that you get invested in it emotionally in some way.
Right. If a movie makes me laugh, is it a comedy? I mean, it can be. It doesn't necessarily mean it is.
Part of Thanksgiving comedy.
Sure.
Yeah. I laughed.
Yeah.
Embarrassingly in that movie. I had to hide my face in my arm. I
Yeah,
laughed
it
so
was a
hard.
little weird. We were, I think, the two people really laughing. My
Yeah.
mom said she really laughed. She went to see it with her friend Linda, and Linda was a little embarrassed, telling me how funny she thought it was. And I was like, "No, me and Annabelle thought it was really funny."
Her.
She's like, "Oh," and she started saying scenes I won't say here, and I was like, "Yeah, it's funny."
Good
And
for her. I
and
didn't know.
she's more of like a I don't say normal, but more of like a regular moviegoer than my
I
mom
don't think
is.
she is anymore.
No, she found it very funny. My mom loved it, so I
She
was really
found it
happy.
funny. She's not just into normal movies anymore.
Exactly. Yeah,
Good
they
for
were gonna go see the new Godzilla, but I told them I think they would like it, so maybe they will. AJ, I will say it's a subtitle for anyone who has an issue with that.
Ah.
AJ Zyla. It was announced today officially
AJ
that Thanksgiving 2 is greenlit.
What happened?
Thanksgiving 2 is a thing
Yes.
that's happening.
Yep. 2025. I'm pretty sure it's AJ Zilla, isn't it? Like Godzilla,
Yeah.
not Zyla, like a xylophone.
Yeah, I just like to say stuff funny. Robert Hegman. Street Trash remake. Why would they do that? It's actually considered a sequel. I'm actually looking forward to it. So I really like the guy Ryan who made Fried Berry. He's making it. He's also has the blessing from the original folks. I was actually trying to set up former guest here on the show to be in it. Didn't work out, but Ryan was all about it. So I'm not against the idea.
I will be right back
All right.
to get something.
Yes. So yeah, I love Street Trash. I think it's a great movie. It's got a lot of like people melting and exploding. The new one's going to be filmed. It's going to be shot on 35 millimeter. I think that's cool. I don't know. I know people are very anti remakes across the board, and I get that they remake a lot of stuff that doesn't necessarily need to be whatever. But I always think like if it wasn't for remakes, we wouldn't have had the new Flaw. We wouldn't have John Carpenter's A Thing. We wouldn't have Werner Herzog's Nosferatu. We wouldn't have Martin Scorsese's Cape Fear. There's a lot of stuff we would have that are good movies. So, of course, the new Blob I think is a great remake. Then there's obviously a lot of bad ones, probably more bad ones than good ones, but there's probably more bad movies than good movies. So I'm not against it. And like I said, it's he's saying it's a sequel to the original Street Trash, not like a remake.
I didn't realize I left my microphone on. So
That's
I don't know
all right.
if you
All
heard
we
my
heard was
victorious aha in the back.
No, I didn't hear that part.
Many moons ago, I was sent this by a street trash man who says Fred the Bum Guy in the return address, which is awesome. So I feel terrible. I've been open till now. It's like every time I thought this will be the right time. Like we had it in Brooklyn, I had it there. So now I
No sleep till Brooklyn. By the way, Brooklyn Horror Fest just announced the next one will be next October, and you can already go get your tickets to it, which is pretty amazing.
Really?
Yeah. Hopefully, we can make it back out.
Oh my God! Yes. Plan in advance. That's one I will definitely go back to.
Drum roll. Street Trash. Boom.
Mike Lackey of Street Trash did this comic, and man, this is so cute. The drawing's cute.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Look at that. The speak. That's amazing.
Show that again real quick. Sweet.
That's awesome.
I love it.
I love it too. It's amazing. These are awesome little. If you can see it, there's a I just thought that was really funny.
Uh-huh. Hide
This
your eyes,
is-
Pepe.
What?
I had you in.
I'm sure there is. It's oh my god, there's all this. I've just flipped to like one.
It does. When he was on the show, he
Mhm.
talked about being like influenced by Sergio Aragonés, and I can kind of see that.
Oh my god. This is, you know what? His character kind of looks like oh, I feel terrible. Why can't I remember his name? He's an independent film director, Rick Chandler.
Oh, interesting. Rick Chandler. Oh yeah, he does actually.
Doesn't
It
he?
does like a lot like Rick Chandler.
He's like so Rick Chandler.
Yeah. Hope Rick's
Oh,
cool with
this
that.
one.
Oh yeah.
Those of you do not know who Rick Chandler is.
Mhm.
I don't know if he'd feel good about me putting up his actual pictures, so I won't. But
Yeah.
that's amazing. Mike Lackey, thank you so much. I have to make sure I send him a message. This is awesome. I love it. So you people out there in the world, you can also get this. It is
It's right on
$29.95,
Amazon.
which is pretty good for a graphic novel of this
Mhm.
magnitude. Mature readers only. I would vote immature readers only. That's amazing. Mike Lackey and Roy Frumkes
Mm-hmm.
are the creators of this book.
Yes. And Frank Farrell gets his penis chopped off in the movie.
Frank.
That is
Cool.
how much art means to Frank Farrell. No, it's it's not real. Let's see here.
Yeah.
He also wants to know Christmas Evil. Perfect time to talk about this classic. I'm a huge fan. One of the, I think it's starting to get more love. I think it's one of the lesser talked
This one,
about.
he's like, I am evil. That one?
No, it's got a really. It's
that?
actually a pretty dark movie where
Oh.
as a child he sees his mom having sex with Santa Claus.
What is it called? I surely have seen it.
Christmas Evil, great ending, great one of the better
Yeah.
endings of any Christmas horror film.
Hmm.
Really well acted. The main guy's a really good actor in it.
Hmm.
I would
Is this all
recommend.
about the guy who is like a real sad Santa?
Yeah,
And-
he's clearly got mental problems.
Oh, yeah. I do remember this one.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah. But it's kind of
It's
sad.
a more serious.
like
It's a more
how it
serious
falls
Christmas horror
apart.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember feeling bad for the Santa.
Mm-hmm.
Is that accurate? Should I?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. It's really well acted. Like the main guy's a really good actor in it. She's been on the show. It's a good interview. Thanksgiving 2023. It was okay. The kills were fun. I loved it. That was great.
Kills were fun. I guess we saw it early enough that like I didn't see a lot of hype, so I wonder if any hype is kind of like.
I don't know. The thing is with it had hype for years because it was the.
Yeah, but it's not the same thing, you know. There's hype now about the actual movie, not just hype about hey, there's a trailer that they turned into a movie.
Tyler Stevens, who's the best Scream Queen?
Oh,
if you're using like Scream Queen as opposed to how it's like the final girl, which I agree with Annabelle. I think that's a better term stuff. But straight up Scream Queen, Marilyn Burns, Texas Chainsaw Massacre really sells how horrific her journey is into madness. That's hard to beat.
I mean, they're not always final girls, though. I think that's something.
Yes,
too.
it is a completely different thing. There's a final girl, and not all final girls are Scream Queens because they're not all. But I think if I'm taking the definition in my mind of Scream Queen, it's Marilyn Burns because she really sells the horror of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I think that's a great call. It's a character that has enough depth. I think she's character, she's just like a regular person. and she goes from that to like this fucking just destroyed human.
Yeah.
You know, you just see this person become destroyed slowly. It's not like just some scary person comes up and she yells and shows her boobs. Like, yeah, she has a great performance.
Yeah,
Oh.
and I think you know, someone who doesn't do that successfully can really take a movie down, and that's happened. You know, not to pick on the movie Texas Chainsaw 3D. I think it's got a lot of issues, but I think a big issue with that is the woman is never believable in peril.
I went to reference like a list of scream queens, and I think it's so weird that they put Sigourney Weaver as a scream queen. I feel like that's insulting.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I do not agree with that because
she's a fucking badass.
That's a perfect example of the final girl, I think.
Yeah.
You know, standing up in one of the originals, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I would put Fay Wray for Scream Queen, one that might get overlooked, I think.
That's a good call.
I think for a long time, Scream Queen was just used as a blanket term for any female in horror movies, and I don't think that's really accurate of what the name really
means. That it's it is something that's like such a like that's just the term people use. I wonder if that is going to evolve.
I think it has evolved lately, but in my mind, that's how I would take Scream Queen. But it's a good question.
It is a good question. As far as screaming, Marilyn Burns. I agree. I agree. What do other people in the audience think? I know we've got some people out there right now. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Pepe. Hey!
Puppy Sloot?
Puppy Sloot, Pepe Sloot, Puppy and Pepe.
What a weird list.
There was I was so on the test run, what I did on Twitch, and it's still up there for a little bit. It won't be up there forever. I just watched a bunch of trailers that people sent in. It was actually a pretty fun time, and I a lot of them I had not seen before, and so I went in cold. It was fun, and so one of them I watched is Pastor Noster, and this movie looks awesome. And so they have the Indiegogo up now. I would recommend people go check it out. People talk about 70s, you know, people try to make a movie that looks like the 70s. This really looks like a 70s exploitation movie. Really cool music. They're actually putting the music out on vinyl. A lot of very cool perks on their Indiegogo stuff that's kind of like out of the box, like I said, the vinyl records, and they have like limited different covers for them, so you can get all 5 of them if you donate a certain amount. It's a cult movie. I mean, about a cult, which I like. I like everything about it was appealing to me. So I would. We could watch it if you like. It's kind of long because it's a pitch. It's not just like a trailer. But we have permission to show it if you'd like to watch it.
Dave Deadman, I like this, made a super great call that Sigourney Weaver is action hero.
There you go.
I love that because that is what she is.
Mm-hmm.
I love that for her.
I'm just going to pull this up.
Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to watch this here. It's like 6 minutes, but we can pause and stuff if you like. But it's cool because it's the whole pitch for the movie.
Fear is incredibly powerful.
Hi, I'm Chris. Some of you know me as the singer in the punk bands Inhumanity and Guyana Punchline, or from my avant-garde recordings as Anachron. Some of you know me from my time as a columnist for Maximum Rock and Roll and as a staff writer for Dangerous Minds. Some of you know me from my previous underground films, The Theta Girl from 2018 and Bad Girls from 2021. For those that don't know me at all, Hey, it's finally nice to meet you. This is the record store where I work my day job, a job I've been advised by my critics not to quit. This is Papa Jazz Record Shop in Columbia, South Carolina. The store figures heavily in our new film, Potter, Noster, and the Mission of Light, as it is the set where our protagonist Max begins her obsession with a rare psychedelic album released by a mysterious 1970s commune that leads her and her friends to the unholy spawn of a dangerous cult. More about that in a minute.
What's the dominant frequency?
We finished most of the uphill battle of independent film production on Potter Noster and are now trying to raise money to shoot a couple of final sequences, some practical effects inserts, and complete the post-production work. To that end, we're offering this campaign as a pre-order page where anyone can get the movie and be assured that they will get it in advance of release to the general public. We're making a terrifying feature film incorporating cults, record stores, psychedelic music, body horror, mind control, and a massive spillage of blood. We make underground films with very little money for the love of the art. Everything we do is like the Little Rascals, putting on a show for the neighborhood kids. That's not to say we don't try to make our products the best possible quality with the resources that we have. Everything I know about filmmaking I learned from punk rock. The movies we make are punk rock demo tapes. We operate outside of Hollywood. We make movies for people looking for something different.
You're gonna cut me open and put a baby in me.
I want you to join this adventure with a contribution if you can. Don't miss out if you want to support this kind of unique content, or simply use this platform to pre-order our finished products. We have a proven track record of delivering, having done 2 Indiegogo-funded features already. Thank you to those of you who supported those. We're hardcore horror fans, and we want to make a movie that delivers the goods for other hardcore horror fans, with crazy practical special effects and compelling characters that drive the story. Due to the rules of this platform, we unfortunately cannot show you any of the scenes of extreme horror in this video, but please be advised that this movie is not for the squeamish or the easily upset.
The witch hunts never really ended.
As excited as we are about the movie, we're equally as excited about the soundtrack. The musical cult in the movie needed music, so we recorded an album's worth of psychedelic head music produced by the fictional band Mission of Light. The music and horror geek in me is also stoked to have Tim Cappello, the sexy sax man from the Lost Boys, playing sax on the soundtrack.
This is Tim Cappello from the Lost Boys, and now from the movie Pater Noster by my buddy Chris Bickle. Man, everything he does turns to artistic gold. One of the smartest, most creative people I've ever met, and one of the nicest dudes that you'll ever meet in your life. This movie is going to be awesome and spectacular and magnificent, and man, so much fun, and well, probably pretty deranged. I am so happy to have contributed to this. I can't wait to see it.
Additionally, Andrew Lyles of Nurse with Wound does remixes on the soundtrack. You can't even imagine how stoked I am over that. Donors at the $5 level or higher will be granted access to download 3 Andrew Lyles remixes of the Mission of Light song Mana for the Children. The full soundtrack is available in the perks as a digital download with tons of bonus content, or as a double LP vinyl album, or as the bonus Blu-ray audio disc in the Blu-ray edition of the movie. This bonus Blu-ray disc is mixed in 5.1 surround for a fully immersive sound experience, and also contains exclusive video content for all of the songs. The vinyl double LP edition is available in 5 different sleeves with unique artwork, including pieces by some of my favorite artists. Each edition is strictly limited to 100 copies. We offer options to buy individual sleeve variants or a package with all 5 variants. Variant 5 is only available in the package. In addition to the music content, another exclusive to the double disc Blu-ray edition is the short prequel film Welcome to Wonderlawn. The full 17-minute version is only going to be available on the Blu-ray. So, we're talking about a feature film, a short film, and an entire album's worth of music and video content, a fully fleshed out art concept. Potter Noster and the Mission of Light is a hardcore horror movie for people who love both lowbrow and highbrow horror. This movie is for record collector nerds and for people who have ever worked in a record store. Seriously, how many movies are there out there for us? High Fidelity, Empire Records, and what? This one. This movie reveals the record store experience with all the crazies and whack jobs that entails before it goes fully off the rails into cult land. This movie is for any kind of a collector geek who obsesses over the rarest of the rare. This movie is for anyone crate digging in the thrift stores looking for that big score. Thank you, horror family, for contributing to this project. Feel good about yourself for supporting the vision of over 100 artists working outside of the studio system to create something adventurous and unique that wouldn't exist otherwise, unbound by the conventions of Hollywood focus groups. Don't miss out on helping to make a movie that belongs to the horror community and not the Hollywood noise machine. Don't forget the struggle. Don't forget the streets. Lend a hand if you can. Together we can make something magnificent. So pre-order the movie and soundtrack today, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
He is a good salesman.
Yeah, this guy rules. So he's been talking to me on Facebook. I know we got a lot of people, but he would love to come on. And I thought if you watch it, this movie looks awesome. I think everything about it, like the idea. The music sounds great. The look of it, I think, really is gritty, and it feels like movie that era. And then Tim Cappello, I don't know, everything that popped up, I was like, this looks great, and it looks very, really wild, like the gore and stuff. I don't know, I'm really into this, and the guy seems
I have to say, having been a person that really like being in those stores, that is very exciting to me to see, like the shop aspects.
So Chris Bickle,
cool
you with me? Chris Bickle on?
Yeah, that's great.
And I sent it to Puppy too, because she's like, I can't freaking wait. I thought she'd be into it.
Dave takes one to no one.
This guy likes. This guy sounds like the commie.
Because he's like, community for us, not the machine. Damn the man, and I'm there for it. Totally there for that.
Jamie Hills. Oh, she's watched. Thank you, Jamie. She's followed us over on Twitch. I appreciate that. Everyone watching, please follow the Twitch page.
Awesome.
This one is awesome. Oh, and I didn't even realize that. Awesome.
Man.
Yes.
Sloot's got it all.
Yeah. New Village Video is the place to be. So yeah, Dave, back to the previous thing. Sigourney Weaver falls under action hero. I agree. He said mine is pedestrian pick. Jamie Lee Curtis, but Marilyn Burns is a close second.
Jamie Lee Curtis is good.
Yeah.
And there's a reason people enjoy her. She's great.
Linda Blair, that's a good one too, actually. All right.
Linda Blair's tough though, because The Exorcist is amazing. And The Exorcist is amazing.
That's very true. That's very true. Very true.
But The Exorcist is amazing.
And it's not to diminish her role in the movie. There's also other people who are doing some of the harder scenes in that movie that didn't get credit for till years later. So.
Yeah.
But she still deserves a lot of credit for the movie. To me, it's one of the best horror. I think it's one of the best movies ever. And if anyone's never read the book, it's a lot of times you read the book. Oh wow, it's way better than the movie. Even if I like the movie, but that one to me, I don't know what the term for, but both of them are equally amazing. So I think it's the best ever book and movie combination. And very rarely, but it does happen, where the book is better than the film. Jaws movie, fantastic. The book is pretty freaking lame.
Oh, now I see what you're saying. Now I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've heard the same thing about The Godfather, which I've not read, but I know it's not horror. That's not to argue what's horror, but that's definitely not a horror movie. But I'll have to read it at some point. But I was very disappointed in the Jaws book. But I think that takes a special talent, I think, to take a book that's not particularly great and then see something in it that would make a great movie. As opposed to, like, obviously, oh wow, this is a fantastic book. Let's just make this into a movie.
Yes.
Anyway, I was glad. We showed that. That looks cool.
Yeah, that was great.
Like
I
you
was
said,
very,
great
I was
salesman.
captivated. It was a quick 6 minutes.
Yeah, it was fun. I just showed all these trailers people sent in, and when I got to that one, I was really. You could see my visual excitement on the video watching it. It's cool. So I probably won't do that very often because I'd have to have a whole bunch of trailers. But if people send in trailers, maybe every once in a while, I'll go. And I did it in the middle of the night. It's like when I'm texting people. I went 3 a.m. in the middle of the night on Twitch and watched a bunch of trailers. But it was fun.
Nighttime is the right time for Mr. Jones.
Exactly. No wrong time to watch some trailers. All right.
What is the Georgetown Project?
The what?
It supposedly comes out today. The Georgetown Project comes out November 30th. While filming a horror movie, a troubled actor, Russell Crowe, begins to melt down, leading those around him to wonder if he's relapsing or if something far more insidious is taking place. That's really weird to me that Russell Crowe has been in 2 horror movies in a very short period of time. I don't recall him being a horror movie guy.
No, but sometimes when this used to be back in the day, like actors would do horror movies later in their career, but back then it was more because horror movies were kind of looked down upon. That was the only thing they could get. But now horror movies do well. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Maybe he's just always liked them too. I don't know.
Huh. David Hyde Pierce. Who else is on this? Well, now it says the release date is December 14th.
Well, he was going to be part of that whole new Faces of Horror when they were kickstarting the Mummy, the remake of the Mummy there, and he was going to be Jekyll and Hyde. And that's a really funny picture I found. I don't know where it is. I posted it. This was probably last year, but it was like the new Faces of Horror, and it was Tom Cruise and Russell Crowe, and it was like all these people that were going to be in the dark universe that went absolutely nowhere.
I think Russell Crowe could do that role.
Yeah, but I'm just saying those movies were rotten.
Yeah,
that's a problem. Like for whatever you think of the MCU, I don't think you can deny that they did a really good job branching out these characters and then intertwining them. And but I don't think they had necessarily had this master plan to do all this, but then everyone wanted to copy that afterwards. And I think it's a hard thing to just like start and like, we're going to make this giant universe because they have to work to begin with. So Iron Man people like Iron Man, people like Captain America. So if you start like, we're going to do this whole universe and the very first movie, every time you do it, people don't like, how can you, you can't really expand on them.
That's very sad. Sad story.
And looking back,
You're right.
I remember they kept saying these are going to be action movies. They're not horror movies. They really were trying to distance themselves from horror because they thought people would rather see action. I think they were really mistaken because what became really big not long after that was horror movies, and it was made a fortune. Get Out, like all these horror movies started becoming big movies. So maybe if they would have embraced the horror of Universal horror movies, maybe they would have done. There's probably a reason they're still around 100 years later.
Because the people who watched them as children haven't died yet.
Exactly.
Sacrifice Game is supposed to be out the 8th. What's going on, man?
What is it?
What kind of doors do I have to knock down? Sacrifice Game comes out the 8th.
Oh, yeah.
So,
that'll be on Shudder.
Yes.
Yeah. Jen will be on. Either it'll be pre-recorded or on a live. I don't know. We'll work it out though. Jen Wexler will be back on the show.
Cool. Very good. Did you get? Was that supposed to be today? Did that happen?
Yeah. It didn't work out today.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Oh well.
But
So
we'll work it out.
Well, so Sacrifice Game, Jen Wexler. I have not seen it yet. I think we can see it, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the little thing here is the Blackvale School for Girls, 1971. Oh, this isn't. No, I should read the legit one, not this one. Sacrifice Game. Just this picture looks good. So, did you see it?
No, not yet.
Okay. I don't think we're supposed to talk about it like as
It's like a review or anything. Yeah.
until this coming week, anyways. But I can still read the description. I don't know who's heard of this or not. Sacrifice Game. Oh, I guess that is what they wrote. It's bad enough that boarding school students Samantha and Clara can't go home for the holidays, but things take a deadly turn when a murderous gang arrives on their doorstep just in time for Christmas. Oh, dang. They gotta edit that because it says Christmas. And I don't think that was intentional, but maybe it is. Maybe it is. So I will want to see that.
Yeah. Jen's from the is it Glass Eye, the
Oh yeah.
Fessenden group. Larry Fessenden's in her first movie.
That's cool.
The Ranger, which is really
Oh, I haven't seen that. I want to.
filmed in Hunter, New York. Great in the mountains where we've been.
Yeah. I think it was filmed right where Kevin's at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here I'm just posting this picture because this was a really cool experience. At one of at Buff, they actually gave me a little room at Harvard Film Institute to do interviews. Apparently, I'm no longer that cool to do that anymore. But she was the first person I interviewed there, and it was very cool.
Oh,
She's
that's very nice. That's a very nice time, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was a good time. She's very cool. Met her a few times. Met her in London too.
Oh.
So, she's doing well for herself. That was her first feature, Ranger, and now she's got another one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would recommend checking out Ranger, and I'm looking forward to seeing her second movie. And Jeremy Holm played Ranger, the Ranger, who we've had on the show. Yes. Very cool guy. That was his first foray into horror films, and he didn't really know what to think about it. And he's really embraced the horror movie since then, and does a lot.
It's nice when that happens, when people don't know what they're in. Well, like I think it happens a lot. Who was the person that was from your other show who started watching horror recently?
He was here in the chat earlier, but it's very late for him, so he probably went to sleep. Dean.
Nice.
Dobbs Dean Maya.
I did see him very briefly. That's
It's almost 2 a.m. for him, so it's probably he probably went to sleep. But very cool of him to come during the interview.
Now your mom's friend Linda,
becoming
a horror fan.
Yeah.
Did we see any trailers for this Lord of Misrule thing?
By the way, I interviewed the director and the star of director of Lord and Misrule, but I'm not allowed to post it until next week. Great movie. Big fan. It's people I think overuse the term folk horror. This one is a true folk horror movie.
Poster's cool. A very short description. A desperate search for the young daughter of the town's new minister is all it says on IMDb.
Yeah. There's not it doesn't give much away, which is cool. The leader of the guy who plays Lord of Misrule is the dad from the Witch.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
He's great voice. Really cool in it. I really love this movie. I think you would like it a lot. Man,
when did that happen?
I recorded it for weeks ago, actually, but I'm not allowed to post it. And it was a press day thing. So it didn't work out. But but the guy, I would love to get him on the show if you ever want to come on for like a regular interview, because it's not a really long interview. And I made sure to tell him that, and I mentioned you. People will check it out when it comes out next week. But I told him that we both really like, because he also did the sequel to The Orphan, which we both really
like. I did like that. That was so clever.
Yeah, and I don't think this is out anywhere, but he mentioned on the interview, not to spoil our interview, but he said, well, He's making the third one, so that's very exciting. But Lord of Misrule, I highly recommend to people out there who are fans of folk horror.
Will that be a theater release?
Yes.
Excellent. Very cool. That's out the 8th.
Yeah.
What?
I saw a screener version, so I would love to see it on the big screen. It would be a much better experience.
Yeah. I just saw another picture for the next one I'm going to share, but let me at least share the picture of Lord of Misrule that is here. And I should do this one too. You got it?
I do not have anything as of yet.
I think I sent it to the right person. Let me double check. Sometimes I do things too fast. Maybe I did do it too fast.
Somebody's like, what the hell are you sending me, woman?
What's going on here?
Lord, and then I looked up Lord of Misrule. That is an actual.
My bad, Pepe. It was supposed to go to Neal for purposes of sharing it on the show. But I'm glad you appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm going to see if Lord of Misrule is playing.
Oh, I hope so.
Sometimes I don't list them quite yet. So, not seeing it here. Hopefully it plays in Boston. It might be a movie that plays like at Brattle or something.
That would be great. I've just sent the picture. That is the, I guess the art for this movie. It's very creepy.
that not only is that the art for the movie, that's actually the actual mask that that Lord
Don't spoil it or anything, man.
I mean, it's in the opening scene of the movie. It's really cool. It's like hand carved wood. He kept the actual mask that he had made for the movie.
That's awesome.
Which I do not blame him. It's really cool. You see it a few different times throughout the movie, and just like the mask is the same, but what else he's wearing, it really adds a different vibe to it. Well, I bring it up in the interview. So there he's got the jester hat. The jester hat's not the actual part of the mask, but then in other scenes he's wearing like a suit.
You're not supposed to be talking about this.
Well, I can't post.
Didn't they say not to talk about it?
Well, I can't give like a full review. But you can give what I forget that there's a term for it. Like you can say you liked it or whatever, but you can't give like a full on review. Anyway, check it out when it comes out.
So this next image, it's funny because to me it looks a lot like imagery from you'll recognize it when you see it. Only this to me is scary. It's not The Conjuring, the other one of that time that was super Insidious. I'm not a big fan. I will watch it again. It's another movie that I saw and I wasn't into, but I'll watch it again. So I found this to be very creepy.
Now, what's this from?
Pop it up on the screen.
I'm getting it. Takes it a minute.
I don't know how we haven't. I guess some of this stuff is just not getting promoted as like a major theatrical release or something. Maybe they'll be in Dorchester. I think that is scary.
It is. What's that for?
Really under the bed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it's not, but it's creeping wherever it is. It's going under something, and it's fucking scary. The name of this film is called The Cello. It also comes out the 8th.
I saw the trailer for this. I saw it when I saw Godzilla. It looks awesome. It's got cool. Jeremy Irons and the guy from Saw. What's his name?
Tobin Bell.
Yeah, it looks great, Annabelle. This is coming out. This is theatrically released. It's
cool.
It looks
aspiring
great.
Cellist Jeremy Irons learns that the cost of his cello is a lot more insidious than he thought. Very cool.
Yeah, when's that come out? I think that'll be.
That's on the 8th, December 8th.
I'm
gonna have a busy day on the 8th.
It's not listed here yet, but
There's the Sacrifice Game,
Mm-hmm.
the 8th, Lord of Misrule, the 8th, the Cello, the 8th. The 8th is just a hot happening horror day. What is this? So the Has-Been Hotel is an animated series. I don't know.
Yeah, the cello does say listed on the thing. It's gonna. Oh no, it says no show. I don't know. Weird. It's not listed anywhere yet.
But it's far from the 8th, and you know sometimes this stuff doesn't come out until like
Yeah.
the night before.
Right.
So
it's listed on the app, but it shows no actual dates it's playing.
Oh yeah, it won't. It's not even Friday of this week. Yeah. So next week, hopefully I won't be sick.
Yes, yes.
And we'll go check it out.
Sounds good to me.
Coolio. And if Misrule is out, you said Misrule is going to be like a major release.
I believe
right?
so, yeah.
That'd be amazing. Cool. Very nice. That's what I've got.
And the good thing about our AMC in Boston, they usually show some weirder movies. And yeah, hopefully it'll be playing there. I think it will be. Like I said, the director has made a lot of big movies.
Yeah.
Made The Boy 2.
Oh.
Done a lot of cool stuff.
I heard The Boy is good. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. But the second one, I wasn't a huge on. But yeah, The Boy's a good movie. He's cool. He was a really cool guy too. So
The Boy. Mm-hmm. The Boy was a cool guy.
That's the last month for last week for Atomic Psychos. Thank you guys.
Yeah, I feel bad because we thought Anastasia was coming on. Does she pronounce her name Anastasia or Anastasia? Do you know? I'll look it up and find out. I want to be respectful. Yeah, but they did think she was going to be on during their month. Sorry, that didn't happen. But she will be on
next week. Yeah. So we don't have one for next month. I did have an idea of playing different holiday horror tunes that people have sent in. So, are you into the idea? Because I've had a lot of people send me in tracks, so it's all different people. I think that'd be kind of fun. Yeah, so if you guys have a holiday track, Atomic Psychos, you could send one in.
Is there enough space?
Yeah, I could play 2 each show, so that would be work.
Okay.
One in between guests and then one at the end. That would be cool.
The way it should always be.
Well, sometimes I don't have time to make one up. So. All right. Like tonight, I did not have time. But it was a fun show.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of folks were in the chat, which always makes it a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Colleen was at Godzilla last night, the same screening I was. But
no kidding.
Yeah. So
she avoided you.
Yeah, I don't blame her. I sat way up in the back in the corner. Not in the corner, but way in the back, and there was no one up there. It was packed, but the last rows, not one single person was at, which I thought was weird. Boy, it was a really nice seat, though. I had a section where it's 3 seats together, and like its own little area, and no one else was there, so I just had my own little
pod
in the middle. Yeah, it was cool.
Little space.
That was the big IMAX screen. It was pretty nice.
What is this hat about, dude? I just need to know.
It's pretty rocking, you think?
Oh my god, where's that from?
Stop and Shop. But I actually think it's like super creepy.
It's something. So if you put it on, you can pull it down over your face.
No. It just goes over your head.
But
you can. It's a baseball cap. That's as far down.
I know, but not like permanently. Just
like
can
this?
you just
But I wouldn't be able to see anything.
Yeah. Dude, I'm not saying go out in public like that.
I can't even see the computer to do anything. I think it's cool because it's so creepy. And then I also have another one. Drop some.
Oh, that's cute.
They're both pretty cool.
I like that one. He's cute.
I think this one's creepy because it's just like killed Santa and put him on
Oh.
your head or something.
I don't know if I'd call it creepy. So that's what I'm saying. If you have it pulled down, so just you don't even see.
Troy
your
has
face.
a picture. I was wearing it last year, and I was putting groceries in the back of his car, and he just looked. He was in the front, and I'm so like bent down, and he said it just looked like it was like Santa's head, just like. Yeah.
Nice.
I got my.
You're very seasonal there. What is this jacket too? Has it got bows on it?
Yeah, it's got
Like
bows.
Bows?
Yeah, it's pretty rocking.
Fuck, weird ass jacket is it? Where did you get that?
I don't know. I think actually my mom got me the jacket. I'm not sure where she got it. It's pretty sweet, I think.
It's a jacket version of ugly sweater.
It's awesome. I think it's pretty rocking. So yeah, I wasn't gonna wear it till next week, but we were doing XXX-Mas. I thought, well, I should break out the Santa stuff. I think.
Absolutely. It's a sweet jacket, but
tinsel. She also got me a Santa Claus. He's kind of hidden because I gotta rearrange. This is so much stuff he gives. See what's going on. But I kind of like it. Gonna put up some of these little dudes. And there's like a gnome with a Jason Voorhees mask.
I like that. That's pretty cool.
And a knife.
What about not everybody celebrates Christmas too?
Right.
So if you're not a Christmas person, it doesn't mean you can't participate.
No, of course not. Yeah.
Santa.
Great.
You're right. It does look like a creepy version of Santa from the Rudolph movie, Pepe.
Great show. Love you too. Always good to see your sweet faces. Ah, isn't that lovely? Well, thank you. Puppy salute. So if Krampus does kidnap you on the 5th, you can watch a Puppet Horror on the 8th. Doesn't kidnap. Oh, I thought maybe Krampus was kidnapped and brings you to his place to watch horror movies. Awesome show, Neal and Annabelle. Have a great evening, and I hope you feel better. Very nice.
Thank you. Me
I hope
too.
you do as well.
Yeah. Happy Hanukkah. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in the month.
Yeah.
In this time,
happy Hanukkah, happy holidays. If you don't celebrate any of it, have a great month.
Exactly.
So, but that is a good point. Holiday horror tunes. So it doesn't have to be Christmas themed. Something themed in this month of December.
In the season of the things.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Everybody. This is an inclusive, welcoming space.
Yes.
For all.
I haven't had a chance to make the Anastasia one yet, but I made a short little video here for next week's guest if you'd like to see it.
Oh yeah, cool. That was great. That was great.
Very good. I was happy with it.
Yes. Nice work, sir.
Thank you. I've been I was up all night, a couple nights. Just not that took that long to edit, but I was learning some new things. And I'm looking like 5 in the morning.
Neal had a new toy to play with.
Exactly. All right, so we'll be back next week with some cool guests. Maybe some stuff will pop up before then. You never know. So subscribe on YouTube. Hit that bell icon so you can supposedly get notifications when we go live. I don't know who knows if it works. Follow us everywhere. Follow us on Instagram, on TikTok. I've been putting up some TikTok videos. Follow us on the X. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitch. Follow Nasty Neal on Grindr. No. But you can follow us wherever you can find Without Your Head. Just do it. Just put in Without Your Head and follow us everywhere.
gimp suit and a raccoon hat come in. Now we know the
Exactly.
truth.
So until next
It brings
week.
up a good point here.
What's that? This is a safe place unless you claim Texas Chainsaw Massacre is not a horror. Booyah! Booyakasa! I don't even know what that means, but I like it. All right. Hopefully I didn't insult anyone with that. So
I was just like, you're in the Godzilla zone or something, like wishing you could speak that language, perhaps.
Right. Yeah, that's how all my anything international, they're not real words. It's just
like you're German.
Yeah, my Werner Herzog. Werner Herzog, I need to work on it.
I like it. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's more just about being very angry.
You're very enthusiastic.
Mm-hmm.
It could be anger enthusiasm. It could be joy enthusiasm. It could be go team. It's an all-purpose language that's very intense.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And and I've got German blood, so it works.
Yes.
All right.
You and your boiled foods.
I haven't eaten, but I'm very hungry. So after this, I'm gonna go get something to eat. I've eaten today, but I haven't eaten supper yet. So,
supper. Gonna get some supper, kid.
Gonna get the supper. Gonna get some clam chowder. Probably not. All right. We'll be back
folks.
Next week. Do all the stuff I said earlier.
Yeah.
And next week. This is Nasty Neal.
This is Annabelle Lecter.
This is
the voice is good for that.
What?
The voice is good for that. Yeah. I will give it that. The raspy voice comes in as a hero at times. And right now, I'm saying Annabelle Lecter. I like it.
Yeah.
So,
I'll cut
go back to what we were doing.
Right. This is Nasty Neal.
And this is Annabelle Lecter.
And this is Without
Your Head.
Walking up in Margaret, junkies for those voodoo, they have to clean them all. Some men roll from Madagascar, looking up my crouch. And then you'll be there, you are Mr. for now. I love you, little Peter. I want you to be there, I know you want to. I love you, little Peter. I want Grandma Joe. I love you, little Peter. I want Grandma Joe. I love you, little Peter. I want Grandma Joe. I want Grandma Joe. I want Grandma Joe.